Hello, my name is Kim and welcome to your Taurus season and May 2026 reading, where we are going to find out what it is that you can expect and or look forward to starting from April 19 all the way up until the end of May of 2026. Now, at the start of each reading, I will be sharing with you what I intuitively picked up on before drawing out the cards. And then I will move on to the first set of cards, which will give us an overview as well as a look at the main themes and lessons of Taurus season and the month of May. Once we have addressed that, I will draw out cards to find out two things. First, what is something to look out for? And second, what is something to look forward to this Taurus season and month of May? And to wrap up each reading, I will draw out an extra oracle card for any last messages, advice, and or guidance. Okay, but with that being said, let us now take a closer look at the options. So there are three different decks to choose from. For group one, we have the Salt and Sea Energy Oracle deck. For group two is the Love and Magic Oracle deck. And for group three is the What's in Your Stars Oracle deck. So please cast your gaze upon the options, and whichever deck draws your attention the most, then that will be the group that has the reading meant for you. And once you have selected, please head on over to either the description box or the pinned comment in the comment section down below to find the timestamps that will allow for you to skip ahead to your selected group. Okay, if you have already selected, then let us get started. Let's go. Hello, if you were drawn to the Salt and Sea Energy Oracle deck, bienvenidos to your reading. So when meditating on the energy of this group, the message look for a way out, as well as the word restore came to mind. And I did pick up on this energy of healing, releasing, as well as fixing, mending. So either during Taurus season or the month of May, you may be looking for alternatives, solutions. You could literally be looking for a way out of a situation, maybe out of a deal, out of a contract, or some kind of agreement. Some of you may already be in preparations to transition out of or move out of a department, a job position, a workplace, or a living situation or a physical location. And so you will be continuing this process or finalizing it at some point during this time. Apart from this, you may be taking some time to either restore a device, a piece of furniture, an item to its original condition or previous state. Or if things have been pretty chaotic, messy, if, for example, your schedule has changed drastically because of some temporary circumstance or factor, it seems that at some point during either Taurus season or the month of May, things will be restored. Your schedule will be going back to normal, or things will be resuming its normal or usual pace. What I heard is order, peace, and calm are being or is being restored. But I definitely do see you fixing something, or I do sense that something will be fixed, if not mended or restored. I'm sensing this to be an item, but now that I think of it, this could be pertaining to a relationship as well, or maybe a dynamic. I also thought of a file or a program or a system. Make sure to back up your files during this period, or anything you want to keep for a long while, make sure to save it separately. But I'm going to set these aside, and I'm going to start with the first set of cards, which will give us an overview of the month, as well as a look at the main themes or lessons of this Taurus season and this month of May. I feel like some of you are in need of a really good massage. I don't know, you might be feeling a bit tense, or you have been feeling a bit tense lately. But your first card is the 8th house with Saturn in Scorpio and the key term inheritance. So the 8th house is the house of transformation, rebirth. It's also, I'm not sure if this is true, but how it's coming through for this group in specific is that the 8th house is representing transitions. Okay. We also have the 7th house with partnerships, relationships, marriage, contracts, business partners, and sharing. I wonder if some of you have some kind of court case coming up, or if you are dealing with some kind of legal situation. Because I did mention contracts at the beginning, and then we do have contracts here with the 7th house. The word inheritance also makes me think of contracts, legal documents. So some of you may be wanting to end or terminate a contract, or maybe it's during Taurus season or the month of May that a contract or a deal, some kind of agreement or partnership is coming to an end. We also have look with strong eyes, watchful, number 32 with the message. Where does it begin? Oh wow, it's already fading out. Okay, so we have use your eyes to see all that you can see. Your sight may be extra heightened right now. Examine everything about your surroundings, how your body moves, how your partner's body moves, the details in your space of rest. There may also be an energy near you that is very watchful. Wow, so this look card makes me think of someone looking over a contract. So yeah, you may be presented with some kind of contract, some kind of deal or work offer, maybe an offer for collaboration that does come with some kind of legal agreement, or does require some kind of negotiations. And with this look card, you are being advised ahead of time to really take your time and read through everything, and anything that stands out to you, make sure to take note of it and bring it up if it's something that you are not very clear on what it means or what it implies, to then be able to get clarification. And some of you may actually be reading over or looking again at something you have already signed, something you have agreed to. For example, if you are wanting to get out of something, like get out of a contract, get out of maybe a subscription or something along those lines, you could be looking over the terms, like how you can do that. Or maybe some of you are looking into, are there any benefits that you're being offered that you haven't become aware of? Or maybe you're being advised to look into that if you haven't done so already. Because sometimes we tend to miss things. So it doesn't hurt to look over something again or to revise. I'm also getting a feeling or sense of revision, editing. Some of you could be doing just that this month. Look also makes me think of reviewing, looking over material. So some of you may be reviewing for an exam or a presentation, or maybe this is the month, let's say, or the season that something is due, that you are meant to turn something in, and before you're turning it in, you're looking it over one last time just to check. Or again, you could be advised to do just that. All of a sudden I saw in my mind's eye an application. So some of you may actually be applying, submitting applications. I'm seeing like someone filling out an application online. Again, if that is the case, I feel like you're being advised to just double check and give yourself enough time to fill out everything carefully. And if if you have someone who can look over things for you just to double check, it won't hurt to ask of them to help you out in like double checking. I don't think, is there going to be a Mercury retrograde? There isn't. I don't believe there's going to be a Mercury retrograde during this time, but this is kind of giving me like Mercury retrograde vibes when people are often advised to like double check and make sure that everything is in order before submitting, before sending out things, because oftentimes there's like glitches in the matrix, in the system, let's say. Yeah, and because we do have inheritance here, I feel like some of you during this time will be let known, or you will find out that you are eligible for something, or that you do have certain benefits, or you qualify for certain deals. I'm just going to give like a silly example. I have been subscribed to Spotify for a while now, and it was not until I think a year ago or so that I discovered one can listen to audiobooks on Spotify. Of course, there is a limited amount of hours available to listen to audiobooks per month, I believe. But I didn't know that. I didn't know that was offered through the subscription until recently. And I love listening to audiobooks. So when I found out, I was both surprised and bummed out that I hadn't known of that sooner, right? So yeah, there could be something that you might be missing, right? Something that maybe you're paying for, or something that is available to you that you haven't noticed, and you're finally noticing it, or it's being made aware to you during either Taurus season or at some point in the month of May. Also, the word feast keeps coming to mind. So something else I'm seeing is this is the time in which you will also find out if you are paying for like extra fees, like hidden fees, maybe subscriptions that you are not even using, or that you didn't even know you were paying for, that sort of thing. Because inheritance is making me think of you saving money, right? Or you getting your money back, or you winning something, you gaining something this month. Okay, and we have the King of Diamonds, number 15, with the letter. And the King of Diamonds personally reminds me of the King of Swords. I know this deck has nothing to do with the traditional tarot, but that's how I interpret it sometimes. And the King of Pentacles depicts someone who is financially responsible and well off, someone who is financially secure and stable. The King of Pentacles is a wealthy business person. So yeah, again, this is making me think of business contracts, job offers, especially with the letter here. I wonder if some of you have recently been offered a job, and it's during Taurus season or the month of May, that you are getting situated at this new job. Yeah, with look here, strong eyes and watchful. If you are in the process of like applying, or going to interviews, agreeing on a starting salary, for example, you are being suggested to negotiate, especially if that is possible. Because I feel like you can get more. You can get more out of something, or you could negotiate for maybe a higher starting salary, or for a higher salary, or even for a better job position. Some of you are being advised to not hold back in terms to sharing what your skills, your skill set, your qualities or qualifications are. There's something some of you might think it's not important, like a skill, for example, but in actuality, it is a skill that maybe a potential employer is looking for, or it's a skill, it's a quality, some kind of experience that you have that will like boost the likelihood of you getting a job offer. Oh, now that I look at the look card, it made me think of evaluations. Being evaluated. Let me pull out one more card. Or being tested. Some of you could be going through a probation period during this time. Or you may be evaluated on something. We do have, I was thinking, what's going to be the outcome of this? And then we have the Chariot card and the Hierophant, two major arcanas. Beautiful. So the Chariot speaks of success, and the Hierophant can indicate institutions and higher education, knowledge. So with these two cards, if you do have, like, let's say an evaluation coming up, or you are going through a probation period, or you will at some point during Taurus season, most likely, then know that you will pass or do well on your evaluation, or you will do well during this probation period. There is this feeling of you moving on to the next level, to a higher level, especially with the Hierophant here. And the Chariot does also make me think of steady forward movement. The Chariot can also sometimes indicate speed. So something else I'm seeing is if you are in the process of something, in some kind of application process, things will be going smoothly during this period, especially during Taurus season. I'm noticing that here in the Hierophant card, we have these keys hanging on a branch, which makes me think of the keys to success, the keys to unlocking a door of opportunity. So you will be given some kind of keys to unlock a door of opportunity during Taurus season, most likely. Keys also make me think of like unlocking a door. So yeah, if you are wanting to get out of something, and maybe at first it seems like it's a little bit difficult to do so, we have here what I believe to be is I always forget the difference between a labyrinth and a maze. A maze has multiple entries and exits. A labyrinth only has one, I believe. So this must be a maze. Yes. When we're in the maze, it's kind of difficult to see the ways out, the ways through. But when we get this like bird's eye view, higher perspective of the maze, then we can see the different paths to the exits, right? So if there's anything that you felt trapped in, right? Or you felt like, oh, it's very difficult to get out of this, or you were wondering, how do I get out of this situation, out of this agreement, maybe a commitment or an engagement. It seems like it is during maybe Taurus season or at some point in the month of May that you will be figuring that out, right? The keys make me think of answers and solutions as well, will be revealed to you, or it will come to you. The way through will be shown. Yeah, so now with look here, again, there's this feeling of maybe double checking, maybe looking over again if this has something to do with like a contract, because there could be some kind of fine print in the contract that will give you the answer, or that will be like your saving grace, will be the key to help you get out of something, or to help you deal with the situation, or gain the upper hand is also what is coming through. I also thought of like answers to problems, like math problems, like literal homework, assignment, test, exam problems. If you are students, or you are currently in the process of learning some kind of new material, and you've been kind of, I was going to say butting heads, but yeah, in a way, with a subject or a topic, or if there's specific problems that you have like a difficult time solving, I feel like it's during Taurus season maybe, or at some point in the month of May, that you will get either the hang of how to solve these problems, or there's this feeling of like a hack. It's making me think of those like trinkets, what are they called? Like puzzle problems, puzzle boxes. And at first they seem impossible to solve, but they can be solved, they can be accessed. And Yeah, that's kind of the feeling I'm getting. It's like you're finding the way, you're finding the password is also what is coming through. Yeah, if you've forgotten a password or you weren't able to get into some kind of account because you forgot your password or something along those lines, you're getting access to that this month. Either you're getting re-encountered or you're finding your password, or someone is helping you out, like an IT person, to get access again to your account, or to restore an account, or to save an account is also what is coming through. But yeah, and someone nice is what I heard. Someone nice, someone respectable, and someone efficient. Very professional is helping you out, and it's making this whole process quick and easy and non-intimidating is what I heard. But for those of you who are students, right, who have been struggling with the subject, you are finding an approach to this topic, to this subject that will work for you, that will make it easier for you to understand it or to solve it. The word access is coming to mind, like access it. Yeah, maybe someone is helping you out, like a tutor or a professor or someone who has a lot more experience in a topic or subject. And maybe what they're teaching you or their point of view is really helping you see something that you perceived as difficult in a new light. Maybe someone is giving you some kind of formula or some kind of tip, right, that is really helping you out. It's making the whole process of solving a problem less difficult, less intimidating, or just more approachable. Yeah, but at the end of it all, I see you kind of figuring it out. There's this feeling of figuring it out or getting the hang of something or getting the gist of how something works. Yeah, but definitely I see success for you. Success for you in terms of something that you felt trapped by, confused by, or something that was giving you a hard time, or in terms to a problem, you're figuring it out. Yeah, also, because we do have the King of Pentacles, I do see someone having a watchful eye over you. And this someone may be, for a lot of you, some kind of authority figure. It could be like a supervisor, a manager. What? I heard OT. What the heck does that mean? I don't know if that is something, but anyways, or this could be a mentor, right? Maybe a tutor or a counselor, someone who you are working with, or someone again who is maybe supervising you, or who is what's the word, shadowing you. Is that the word or expression? But they're not interfering. That's interesting, because I'm noticing how this Hierophant has their hands on their lap. And they seem pretty chill. And so what I'm getting here is whoever is watching over you or kind of supervising you or mentoring you, teaching you, they are not meddling with how you handle things or acting like a helicopter. I was going to say like a helicopter mom, right? Where they're watching over every single little thing that you do without giving you the space and the room to simply be you and do your own thing so that you can learn, right? Okay, the expression I'm looking for is micromanaging. Yeah, I don't sense any micromanagement. I do sense that someone will be leading. It could be you who will be placed in this position of leading another or overseeing a project. But if it's not you, whoever is overseeing is a supervising, but with respectful distance, right? If there is something that they do need to point out because of, safety reasons, or because that's part of the whole mentoring process, then they will do so. They will speak up or they will guide, right? But they won't be like Remy, puppeteering every move that you make. And I'm referring to, the Pixar movie Ratatouille, because Remy literally puppeteers the supposedly chef linguini. Yeah, it won't be like that. At least that's not the vibe I'm getting here. Yeah, and definitely a lot of you could be this authority figure. You know, you could be the one, as mentioned before, overseeing another or helping another out during this period. I'm also seeing something to do with an inspection, maybe like a work inspection, like a retail food inspection or as a safety inspection sort of thing. Of course, I'm giving those just as examples. If you do have something like that coming up, or if you're waiting the results, or you had to do something over because some things were missing during the first round of inspections, it seems like this time around things will go well. Yeah, it seems like you're getting approved or you're getting some kind of approval during this time. The Hierophant can speak of marriage, and because we do have the 7th house here, I'm seeing two different things. I'm seeing some of you possibly going through a divorce process or some kind of separation process, because now I thought of like business partnerships. Some of you could be like ending a business partnership, and if so, you are continuing the process of that. I just see kind of like a procedure, like things moving on to the next level, but there definitely being some kind of progress in this situation. For others of you, I see a coming together, right? I see like two people partnering up, two people like making arrangements or preparations to enter into some kind of union or enter into some kind of partnership. Yeah, I'm seeing like a marriage license, or there could be an actual wedding ceremony occurring at some point during either Taurus season or the month of May. But with the 8th house, which is also the house of shared finances, a lot of you who are in a partnership, whether it be business or like romantic partnership, you are going to address your shared finances perhaps, or something to do with your financial situation, how you want to move forward in regards to that, like how you divide assets, if you're going to divide assets, if you're going to share them. If this is about investing, like who's investing what, the percentage, and what does that entail in terms to ownership and so forth. Yeah, but there's this feeling of things being written down on paper, things being legitimized or legalized. As in, this is what we are agreeing on, and we're writing it down on paper, we're signing it and making it concrete. Yeah, so if there's anything that has been pending in terms to like your finances or in terms to assets, ownership, properties, these are the things that are being addressed during this period. Because the Chariot here gives me this feeling of something was pending or something was being left for a later time, and now it's being addressed and things are moving forward. Yes, if you have been waiting to hear about whether or not you got approved for a loan, if you got approved for some kind of financial benefit, financial aid, you are receiving news during, again, it could be during Taurus season, but if not, at some point in the month of May, that you have gotten approved, or that maybe you just need to turn some final paperwork in, maybe sign something, maybe like attend some kind of interview, and you know it will get approved once that is done. Yeah, and I see something being fixed, like something again to do with some kind of paperwork. It's getting fixed, it's getting resolved, it's getting done and over with, case closed, before the month of May ends. Yeah, so you don't have to worry about it anymore, you don't have to like deal with it anymore. It's case closed and you're good to go. That's that's the vibe I'm getting. You're good to go. Or you're free of charge is also what I heard. Some of you might be hearing news that you are getting money back. You're getting some kind of money back, or you are getting the money that you requested for, that you need to move forward. Yeah, but I definitely am seeing success in terms of some kind of application process. you receiving an approval, you receiving like an acceptance letter is also what I'm seeing. Yeah, because with the letter here and the Hierophant, yeah, if you have recently applied to an institution, to a school program, to a school maybe, I'm not sure if it's during the month of April or May that students start receiving acceptance letters, but if it is the case, or if that is your case, you're expecting one to come in during this time, you are receiving that acceptance letter. I heard cleared up. Something is getting cleared up. Yeah, if there was some misunderstanding, again, if something didn't get filed correctly, or if you weren't able to move forward because something like paperwork was missing, again, that's being addressed. Some of you could be making some kind of dealings with family members, or if not, I see you getting together or connecting with a family member to talk about maybe an inheritance or talk about some financial situation and coming to some agreement or coming to some kind of understanding. But now I'm going to first look into what is something to look out for this month. Oh, okay, fell on my lap. And we have lipstick on a pig, number 4, with artifice, denial, cover up, trickery, superficiality, frivolity, foolishness. And again, we have the message look closer. Yeah, please, 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 guys, if you're being presented with some kind of contract, with some kind of offer, please really look over this, read it carefully, look closely at anything that is being sent your way. Before agreeing to anything, before signing anything, read the fine details, especially if something looks too good to be true at first. I don't want to be the party pooper, but I am seeing a situation where something that like reads really well, that looks superb, might not be what it seems. So if something looks a little sketchy, or if something is not totally clear, like there's missing information, and you're interested in this, then ask for that missing information. And if it's not being given to you right off the bat, then that could be in itself a red flag, or just something to just consider and maybe even look more into. And there could be someone who might be wanting to win your favor with a lot of flattery. I feel like it will be pretty obvious if that ends up being the case, because whoever this is, they will go all out. And you will sense that, especially with the Chariot here, which is associated with the zodiac sign Cancer, and Cancer tends to be pretty sensitive, as in they pick up on those subtle cues. They pick up on when someone is being authentic or not. But just something to keep in mind, especially if you see someone is trying to sell you something. They're really trying to get you to buy something or say yes to something by going over the top of how good it is or how great of a deal it is. Yeah, because now that I said promising the world, what came to mind was the expression making promises that either they can't keep or they don't intend to keep. So I'm not sure who this energy is or what this energy is in specific, but I do see someone making promises to you simply to appease you in the moment, simply to sort of get you off their back, or to, what's the word I'm looking for? Buy more time. Yeah, so with the letter here, if you're gonna make deals or make agreements with another or with others, consider writing it down or getting it on paper, making it legal if this is something really truly very important. Because I feel like you're being advised to not take someone's word for it. You know what this is kind of making me think of? As an example, you might want to consider paying something in installments instead of paying something up front, especially if whatever you're paying for is not being given to you in that moment, right? Especially if this is a situation where maybe you're paying someone for the completion of a big project that will take several days or maybe weeks, possibly even months. And the total of this project is a big sum. right? You might not want to pay the whole sum up front if there's no receipt, if there's no proof that something is being owed to you or that this transaction is being made, right? Because someone might not come through, or as they said, they might promise to have something done by a specific time. They might promise something at first, but then not deliver at the end. And so one of the things that could kind of help you secure that a promise will be kept is you having something to like back you up, like a receipt or paying in installments, something along those lines. Yeah, but on a smaller scale, let's say, this could also be hinting at that during this time, you might want to be selective as to who you share certain information with, who you confide in, who you say yes to as well. There could be some people who might not have ill intent, but they don't know how to be discreet, right? So yeah, if you don't know someone that well, if you don't know if they can be discreet, then you might want to hold off on confiding anything important or very personal or private to them, especially during this time. Okay, but now I want to look into something that you can look forward to during Taurus season and the month of May. And we have, sorry, I had to pause because an airplane was gliding overhead and they can be loud, or they are loud. So we have number 14 with aren't you precious, and the key terms suffering, fools, disdain, displeasure, contempt, poking fun, read between the lines. Okay, so if there has been anybody around you at your workplace, at school, in your friend group, social group, or maybe in like your community who has been patronizing towards you or who has been offering a lot of backhanded compliments to you or unsolicited advice, either this person is going to be called out. They will be called out on this. It could be you who is calling them out, kind of maybe setting a very strong boundary, asserting a boundary with them, or they will end up being called out by another person. But I do see this person being spotted, or if it's not a person, it's coming through as an energy, like this patronizing energy, or this, like someone who is pretending to be your friend, but they're not really, will be revealed, will be exposed during this period. So this is the time in which anyone who hasn't been genuine with you, authentic, sincere, or anyone who has maybe had some ill intent towards you, or who has been targeting you in a way, will be spotted, will be exposed. And for some of you, I feel like this will be a big reveal because you might not have noticed or detected that this was happening, that someone was patronizing you or that someone was offering you backhanded comments. You might have not realized it yet. Maybe you got a sense of it, but it hadn't been made obvious to you yet until now. And there's this feeling of once it's made aware to you, it's like something clicks. It's like you have this aha moment, or a lot of things, again, that were confusing to you, or a lot of things that didn't make sense to you. Maybe it has to do with how you felt, like how you felt around someone or how you felt after you had spent time with that person starts making sense to you. What else I'm seeing for some of you is if this is a person at work or maybe at school, or maybe someone who you've been living with or who has been living somewhere near you, it could very well be that it is during Taurus season or the month of May that they are the ones being transferred. Maybe they are the ones right now in the process of moving, and it is during Taurus season or the month of May that they are relocating or that they are being moved to a different department, or they are switching jobs, right? And so you don't have to see them anymore. You won't have to deal with them anymore. They're exiting your life, and so is this energy. Yeah, or someone could be going back home. If this is someone who's visited, they're going back home, or maybe it's you who is going back home if it's the case that you ended up visiting somewhere where this kind of energy already existed, or this person who is carrying this energy, who is behaving in this way, was already residing in. Yeah, but there's this feeling of you freeing yourself from this, or you setting a very strong boundary, or this being exposed so that then you can decide to no longer engage with this person or engage with this energy or feed into it. There could also be like an authority figure or someone else who may be calling someone out for you, right? Like in your defense. They could be protecting you in that way. Because this Hierophant here makes me think of protection. Someone is protecting you, or you are being divinely protected, or by a figure of authority. And this card also lets me know that you will be getting in contact with and meeting people who are genuine, right? People who they care to help you, and they care about you, about what you're going through. And so whatever time they're investing on you, on your case, they're doing so with the utmost consideration. Respect is what I heard, care, and professionalism, right? If this is like a professional who you are going to for advice, for assistance, for help, or for some kind of service, you are getting in contact with someone who cares about their customers, cares about their clients, and who means business is also what I heard. Like they care about their job, they care about doing a really good job. Yeah, so there's this feeling of like the fake energy, or it's leaving, or this is the time in which you will be able to detect the authentic from the impersonation. Those who are being real with you versus those who are not being real with you. Right, so yeah, the example that is coming to mind is of someone who is applying to jobs, and they're going to interviews, and instead of like being only interviewed by the employers, they're also now doing the interviewing. They're also now interviewing the potential employers. And they're doing so because they realize that it's important for them to know who they're being hired by or who they will be working for. And now they can tell like what's a good candidate, what's a good employer candidate versus a not so good one. Like, or now they know what they're looking for in a job, what they're looking for in an employer. Maybe they're looking for integrity, sincerity, upfrontness, something along those lines. And because they have that clear, now they can discern, or now they can detect whether someone or something is a good fit for them or not. Yeah, so that's something that some of you might be experiencing during this time. Or you're being let know that with the look card that you have reached that level of discernment, that you have gotten way better at discerning, or that now you have gained better insight as to what works for you, what does not, what is for you, what isn't. Or you have your standards in check. You know what you want. And that is helping you, that is serving you, especially during this time. Okay, but now for your extra oracle card, we have the Stingray with be aware of your surroundings and mindfulness. Again, with the whole awareness and looking closer and keeping a lookout. Yeah, so just keep an eye out this month. Be discreet, be selective, read things over, double check, ask someone else to check for you if you can. But we have Stingray, be aware of your surroundings, mindfulness, with the message stingrays can sense nearby electrical currents, allowing them to know who is in their space. Like the stingray, you have to be mindfully aware of your surroundings. And in order to become mindfully aware of your surroundings, you must consciously live in the present moment. By choosing to be mindful, you also choose to be present. One cannot exist without the other. If you struggle with anxiety, chances are you worry about things that have already happened or things that have yet to transpire. You cannot change the past, nor can you alter the future, but you can find peace and presence. Like stingrays, humans can also sense energies invisible to the naked eye. Practice mindfulness to aid in the development of psychic gifts. Yeah, some of you may be empaths. You could be quite sensitive to energy, the energy of others. Yeah, and as mentioned, you might have already been picking up on an energy that maybe wasn't very friendly, or that was affecting you, or that was weighing you down in some kind of way, maybe emotionally, maybe mentally, or energetically. And this is the time in which you're discovering or becoming aware of where that energy is coming from, or you're releasing yourself of it, you're freeing yourself of it, or blocking it. You're asserting some kind of boundary to keep it from getting to you. But there's this feeling of you releasing it. Maybe this has something to do with some kind of commentary. Maybe someone made some kind of comment in the past and it has affected you. And this is the time in which you're deciding to not let it have a hold on you, or not let it influence how you see yourself, how you perceive yourself, or how you feel about yourself, your life, your decisions, etc. But I definitely feel like you're releasing somebody else's energy. And that's making a huge difference. That's improving how you feel. It's improving maybe your health, your mental health, or your confidence, your self-esteem. Definitely your energy levels. Something else. Oh yeah, when I was reading the guidebook message, something stood out as a confirmation, which was, yeah, chances are you worry about things that have already happened, right? Or things that have yet to transpire. Because before I read the guidebook message, I was thinking that it is during this time something is getting resolved. And I know I already mentioned that, but I want to be specific in that, if there was some kind of misdealing that happened before Taurus season, before the month of May, like maybe in April, this is a month in which it's getting addressed, it's getting solved. Yeah, I think I already touched upon that, but yeah, for a lot of you, a lot of which I touched upon, like someone not keeping to their promises, there being some errors, right? Something not being written correctly, typed out correctly, or something missing, etc. That could have happened recently, and it's during this time that it's getting addressed, it's getting solved, it's getting fixed. Someone who wasn't coming through is now coming through, or you're holding someone accountable, and so now they have to come through. Yeah, because with the Chariot we have, again, success. So things are getting finalized, things are getting fixed, solved, or resolved during this time. Yeah, I'm also sensing a clearing of the air. Any misunderstandings, miscommunication, it's getting cleared out during this time. Okay, but these are all the messages coming through for you guys. Oh, what is this? It's like a little insect. But if you'd like to take a closer look at the cards to see if there's anything that stands out to you, you definitely can pause the video and take your time to look at the details here, at the numbers. But things that are standing out to me is, of course, the stingray. Stingrays could be of significance. They could be a spirit or power animal of yours, as well as the horses. The year of the horse could be of significance. You might have been born in the year of the horse, or someone who will be playing a significant role in your life might have been born in the year of the horse. For zodiac signs, we have Cancer, Taurus, and Scorpio, as well as Libra with the 7th house. I'm also getting Sagittarius. I heard dominoes. I don't know what that is about. I don't know if it's the pizza place or like the game dominoes. But the number 8, 7, 15, and 32. Oh, I just noticed we have 2 number 7s, and then we have 14. If we add up 7 and 7, we get 14. Oh, so that made me think of things adding up. Like things are starting to add up. You're starting to connect the dots. Things are starting to make sense during this time. Maybe in terms of what is affecting what, or what is the cause of what, or how you can get from point A to point B, the answer to a problem, the solution to a problem, etc. But the number 7 could be of significance, or 77, repeated 7s. I'm noticing we also have consecutive numbers with 14 and 15. Whenever I see consecutive numbers in a spread, it makes me think of continuation, progress, forward movement. So I definitely see that, especially because we have the Chariot card for you guys. Anything that has been placed on hold, anything that has been delayed, especially when it comes to like finances, some kind of like legal issue, maybe a court case, or have to do with ownership, property, maybe insurance, or like an application process, a submission. It's progressing or moving forward during this time. I also heard right now you're getting your answers. You're getting your answers, you're getting the feedback you've been looking for, you're getting or gaining clarity. Oh, also the year of the pig could be of significance. We have the year of the horse, the year of the pig. I also, in my mind, heard the year of the rooster. Those could be of significance. A year that ends with the number 7, like 1997, 2017, 1967 could be of significance as well. Okay, but these are all the messages coming through for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it brought some guidance, some clarity. If it did, then please leave a like or a comment. And if you're new to this channel and you wish to stick around for more readings with me, Kim, then please do subscribe. I do offer personal readings. All the information to that is in my website, and the link to my website can be found in the description box down below. To all of you who took the time to watch the advertisements or just let them play in the background, thank you so much for that, since that is the simplest way to support me, to support this growing channel. So if you did, I truly do appreciate it. And before I sign off, I want to give a thanks to my spirit team and your spirit guides for assisting me with delivering these messages to you. Thank you so very much. And I'm wishing you and your loved ones a wonderful Taurus season and month of May. And until the next moment, bye-bye. Hello, if you were drawn to the Love and Magic Oracle deck, bienvenidos to your reading. So when meditating on the energy of this group, my awareness kept being drawn to the top of my head, my scalp to be more specific, and I kept thinking about hair, a head of hair. So this Taurus season or month of May, you may be trying either a hair or scalp treatment or a new hair care routine. Some of you may be thinking about dyeing your hair, because I kept, for whatever reason, imagining an itchy scalp or a scalp that was maybe burning or tingling a bit, which made me think of all those videos I watched of people dyeing their hair at home, or more specifically bleaching their hair, and them describing how it tingles or burns. So if you are thinking of dyeing your hair at home, I think a message or a suggestion for you guys is to not do too much or not apply too much, maybe in terms to the bleach. I heard take it one step at a time. That might be pretty obvious. I've never dyed my hair, so I don't really know through firsthand experience how the whole process goes down. But I believe there are steps to it, and you're being advised to, take it one step at a time and not overdo it with the treatment or any kind of treatment that you are thinking of doing. So if you're thinking about trying out new skin care products or anything that's going on your skin, the very same thing, maybe, do a little test run first before applying it all over yourself. Yeah, so just a little heads up for those of you who were thinking about trying something new. Now, something else that came through was the phrase rest assured, as well as the word wake. And when the phrase or the expression rest assured came to mind, I immediately felt relaxed and at ease, which stood out to me because I hadn't even realized that I was that tense or nervous. So it seems like you will be receiving some kind of reassurance, or you will be feeling reassured that something will be turning out well, or that you're doing well, or that you are on the right track. But I do feel like your spirit guides, maybe your guardian angels, or whoever it is that you believe in, resonate with, reach out to when you need that kind of divine reassurance, for example, really wants to let you know right now and ahead of time that all is well, right? That you don't have to worry, that something will turn out well, and that you're safe. This Taurus season, you're safe this month of May. Yeah, and that you don't have to worry. Interesting. Now the word wake, I will say, I don't know what it is referring to. I don't know if it means that you will be waking up earlier than usual, or you will be feeling a lot more awake. So let's say if you haven't been getting restful sleep, or if you have been feeling pretty sleepy lately, pretty tired, or you have been experiencing a lot of brain fog, for example, then at some point, either during Taurus season or the month of May, you will be more awake. Maybe even it's about your complexion, like you looking more awake, or experiencing less of a brain fog, you being able to think more clearly and focus better and be more present. And that could be as a result of you getting better sleep, or maybe addressing a factor that was messing with your stamina or was causing you to feel groggy, right? So just as an example, I'm not saying that this is the case for every single one of you. Remember, only take that which applies, resonates, or you see makes sense for you. But the example that is coming to mind is like someone finding out that it was a specific ingredient that they were consuming that was affecting their stamina or was causing brain fog. And once they stop consuming this or consuming less of it, or see what they can do to fix that and then address it, that's when they start seeing a positive difference. But the word wake also makes me think of like a wake-up call, a spiritual awakening, someone being woke. It also makes me think of an alarm. So you might have important early appointments, several of them, during this period. Or if you are students, you might have early classes, or maybe the schedule of something might change, which will result in you needing to maybe wake up early or be present somewhere earlier than usual, or start your routine, your daily routines earlier than usual. But if there is an appointment that you have that you're kind of worried about because of when it's scheduled, the time that it is scheduled. For example, maybe it's scheduled on a day that you know you will be pretty busy, or that it's like a close call is what I heard. Maybe you have it scheduled right after another appointment, or you have it scheduled at a really early time and you're worried that you might not make it to this appointment on time because of that. You're being let know ahead of time you will make it. You will make it. I heard we will help you with that. We will make sure that you're there on time. So that could be a message coming from spirit, your spirit guides, or just the divine, whoever it is that you resonate with the most or connect to. But yeah, let me now get started. So I will work with this deck at the end of your reading, and the first set of cards I will be working with will give us an overview of this Taurus season as well as the month of May, and a look at the main themes and lessons of this period of time. I heard beauty sleep. I feel like some of you might be wanting or craving beauty sleep, or you will be getting, as mentioned before, more restful sleep during this time. Oh, okay, so we have the 11th house with Sun and Aquarius, and the key term idealism. Ooh, so interesting. Group 3? I haven't set the order of the groups yet, but I believe it will be group 3. Also got a Sun card or Sun energy. But Sun in Aquarius could be of significance. Maybe you have an Aquarius Sun, or someone who does have an Aquarius Sun may be playing a significant role in your life throughout Taurus season or the month of May. Also, Aquarius season could be of significance, or might have been of significance. You might be addressing an issue or a matter that was brought up within Aquarius season. So Aquarius season begins typically around January 19th and ends around February 18th. For some, this situation or matter may be health related. And because we do have the Sun here, which to me often represents vitality, strength, success. It can also sometimes indicate good health. If you have been working on improving your health, or you are planning on going in for a physical checkup at some point during this period just to see how you are faring, how you are doing, if a treatment is working, if your health has improved. It seems you will be receiving good news. You will be hearing that your health has improved, or that something is working, or that you are experiencing a good recovery. The word idealism is making me think of ideal, like the ideal situation, the ideal outcome, or like the ideal level, the ideal numbers, the ideal percentage. So if you have done some kind of like blood test or some kind of testing, it seems like the numbers are coming out on like the ideal range, like the healthy range, something along those lines. Let me pull out the rest of the cards. Ooh, that was a mess. The fact that we have this angel pouring this vase of water over these fellas here, or people, or beings, makes me think of blessing and makes me think of health, because it's reminding me of the star card in traditional tarot. In the star card, we literally have an angel, I believe it's an angel, that is pouring water onto land, I believe. And the star card often indicates healing, balance, and peace, as well as inner calm. So I'm sensing healing here, or some kind of a recovery. I'm also seeing you being guided, being blessed, or being supported by angelic beings or by the divine. You do have divine support. You also have the support of spirits. It could be elementals for those of you who connect with elementals. This bluish fella also is reminding me of like the avatars in the movie Avatar, which reminds me or makes me think of star beings, star seeds. So for those of you who like connect with the star seed energy, or star beings, you also have their support, or you will be working very closely with them, like light beings from other dimensions or star systems throughout this time. This figure also reminds me or makes me think of Hindu deities. So you could also connect with or work with Hindu deities, or you might be learning more about like Hindu deities during this time. But your other card is building with growth, and the message 76. And the number 76 with the message, there is something worth building upon, and it all starts with a sturdy foundation. Keep moving upward no matter the obstacles. It will only get better every day. A next step in your process is necessary. Welcome in the newness and relocation of mind, body, and soul. Ooh, that message, that last message really stood out to me, the newness and relocation of mind, body, and soul. Yeah, so this makes me think of recovery, or you kind of getting your mojo back, you getting your spark back, or you feeling revitalized at some point during either Taurus season or the month of May. With building here, some of you could be building a new regimen, you could be building a new diet or routine. Also, I heard care system. Maybe some of you are looking into how to better take care of yourself, how to look out for yourself. You could be looking into self-care. You could be tweaking a few things in your day-to-day routines, or in like how you prepare your meals, what kind of ingredients you put into the meals you prepare for yourself or maybe for your loved ones. This could also have to do with like a skincare routine, or maybe a hair care routine, something along those lines. Yeah, you're building, I heard building a new technique, building a new routine, building a new system. All of a sudden I thought of makeup. Maybe some of you are switching the kind of makeup you use, or you're changing your makeup routine or the steps. With the house showing up in the building card, small. You may be spending some time at home indoors, or you could be dedicating time to decorating your house or fixing it, arranging it just how you would like it or just how you like it. Some of you may be investing in home decor, or maybe some of you are thinking about like renovating a space, or just what I heard is judging things up in your living space or place. Yeah, idealism again is making me think of ideal. Like you are building your ideal life, your ideal lifestyle, your ideal routine. And you're doing it now. Like you're not waiting for something. You're taking it upon yourself to start creating that standard for yourself, your standard. We have first quarter with pushing past limit, removing obstacles, making changes and decisions. Yeah, so I do feel like you are making changes. And with pushing past limits, as mentioned before, you're not waiting. You're not letting, I heard like minor inconveniences or like limited beliefs stop you or keep you from trying to make those changes you want to see in your life, right? To start somewhere is what I heard in my mind. I heard right now the expression fake it till you make it. And that could be what some of you are kind of living by or applying during this period. But it seems more like you are bringing into your space, you are bringing into your life little bits and pieces of what you want to see more of, right? If it's that right now you can't bring the whole of what you want into your current picture. So just to give an example, let's say person A, because we do have water here, wants to someday live near the sea, right? Wants to own a house near the ocean. But right now they live in the middle of a city. Then what they're doing is they're bringing into their home everything that reminds them of the sea or of the ocean. They're bringing in seashells, they're putting up pictures of like a seashore on their wall. They're like painting the walls of the room a color that reminds them of the sea, just to bring a little bit of that energy, that vibe into their space to get them closer to that dream, to that vision, right? Like why wait for a later time? Why wait for some future to experience even a little of what they are already longing for? Why not start now with what they can get their hands on, right? So that's kind of the vibe I'm getting here. Yeah, again, there's this feeling of not waiting and removing obstacles. That could mean that you are letting go of these limited beliefs. You are letting go of like these notions that, oh, you can't have something yet, or you can't experience something yet. You have to wait until you have like the whole set. When no, maybe you can get a little bit of what belongs to that set and start experiencing a little bit of it now. It also makes me think of someone who believes that they cannot experience happiness or joy until they have something, right? So if you have those kind of beliefs, maybe that is what is being removed, or you're removing them, you're actively removing them by challenging them through action. Because with decisions here, it makes me think of action. And then with growth, it also makes me think of maturation. It seems like you are outgrowing certain mindsets, certain beliefs. And again, there's this feeling of you taking matters into your own hand. You taking participation in the shaping of your current reality. And with the energy of idealism, I am sensing optimism. So you may find yourself being quite optimistic during either Taurus season, the month of May, or throughout this entire period of time. There's also this feeling of like starting small, like, or starting from scratch. You're building from the ground up. right? And this notion of building from the ground up isn't deterring you from creating. It's actually encouraging you to create more. Yeah, some of you could be kind of like going from this mindset of I need to have it already prepared, like the bread already has to be baked and wrapped when I receive it, versus I have the ingredients to make the bread that I want to consume, and I'm not going to wait any longer for the bread to just magically appear in its full baked form. I'm going to start working with the ingredients given to me to make that bread, to bake it, so that then I can have it. I can have it and eat it. Yeah, I keep hearing in my mind, why wait when I can do this now, when I can try this now, when I can experience this now? So you might be having a completely different outlook during this time. And this new outlook is giving you a whole new experience that is uplifting you, that is motivating you to keep creating, to keep moving forward, to keep building, to keep growing, or to keep growing something. Because the 11th house is the house of like groups of people, communities, friendships, and then we do have this energy of building and growth. Some of you may be growing your social circle during this time. Okay, I got a different message now. Others of you may be deciding to make smaller your social circle. You could be quite selective in terms to who you spend your time with, maybe who you invite into your personal space, into your literal physical personal space, like your house, your home, your apartment, your dorm, your studio, etc. Yeah, there's this feeling of you taking better care of your personal space, treating it like a sanctuary, your sanctuary. And so not just about anybody gets invited to or gets access to your space, whether it be like your inner world or a physical space that you are making into your home, or that is like your sanctuary, or that you have decided it is your safe space. And I drew out this card, but I'm not supposed to work with this card for this part of the reading. I made, well, it's not a mistake. I went more with the flow for another group and like mixed up the decks, but I'm going to try to keep the format as I had planned for this group. So I am meant to pull out a tarot card. So we have 2 tarot cards, and we have the 9 of Cups in the upright, and we have the 7 of Swords. So the 9 of Cups can indicate emotional fulfillment, emotional satisfaction, expectations being met. It's also a card that can indicate wish fulfillment. But then we have the 7 of Swords, which is a card that can indicate treachery, deception, as well as someone getting away with something. But the 7 of Swords can also indicate strategy, sharp wit. Okay, there is a bit of a heads up here. You are being let known to be careful of being misguided during this period. So interesting how I was talking about you being more selective as to who you allow into your space, and then soon after I drew out these cards. So this kind of goes hand in hand with that message. Because with the 7 of Swords here, this lets me know that during this period, you will be a lot more careful as to who you listen to, who you heed advice from. You are not trusting that easily. You are using your discernment. And the 7 of Swords is making me think of online, the web, information on social media, or just social media in general. So Yeah, it seems like you have recently picked up on that or noticed that not everything which you see on social media, not everything that is advised on social media or on the internet is legit, or it might apply to you, or it might be of help, right? So you're being a lot more discerning when you're scrolling through social media. When you're listening to, I don't know, gurus, whether it be beauty gurus or health gurus or even spiritual gurus, you are, instead of taking their word for it every time, taking some time to introspect and to maybe listen to your own inner guidance, intuition, or maybe even take time to analyze maybe the information, maybe do a little bit of side research on your own to prove or disprove the validity of what you have been informed about on some kind of social media platform. Yeah, because I feel with the Nine of Cups, a lot of you have experienced some kind of disappointment in the past where maybe you've gotten your hopes up by what somebody said on social media, like an easy fix that someone recommended, and then you tried it and it didn't work as it was recommended or as it was promoted or advertised, and that was a bit of a letdown. That was a letdown. And so now you are keeping that in mind, like, okay, some things might work, some things might work for some people, but not everything is a one size fits all. Or some people might be paid to advertise certain products, and so they might hype them up or overhype them because they are being paid to do so. And so I have to be a little bit like mindful and aware of that when watching like reviews of products, or hearing people's personal experiences, because again, it's not always a one size fits all situation. Yeah, so you're being a lot more discerning. And I don't see this as a bad thing. I see this as actually a good thing because you are using your discernment. Right? You have this level of awareness now, which is helping you with making maybe better decisions for yourself or healthier decisions, or is helping with you focusing on that which will help you or does apply to you or will benefit you. Right? Again, this energy feels that of like maturation, someone who is maturing and who is not giving into despair, because with the Seven of Swords here, and the Nine of Cups, this combination makes me think of like someone feeling as if the joy has been taken away from them by an other. And what I'm sensing now is that instead of believing or feeling like someone else has the power to remove or take their joy, their happiness, their wonder away from them, now they're seeing it as that's not truly the case. Like one thing does not define their happiness, or something not working for them, for example, does not mean that everything else is falling apart or it will fall apart, or that nothing in life works for them, right? Because that's kind of the vibe I'm getting from these two cards, like taking it a bit to an extreme where if something doesn't work out, then the person who this thing didn't work out for them in the way that they wanted to feels like nothing ever does or ever will work out for them, when that's or is not necessarily the case. Yeah, if that's something you used to experience, like overgeneralization, it seems like during this period you're looking at things from a different perspective. You're seeing that, okay, if this didn't work out, it's because this wasn't for me or this doesn't apply to me, and that's perfectly fine. Now, something else that is coming through is the expression easy fix. I feel like a lot of you, again, are moving from that mindset that everything requires an easy fix to it's okay if some things require a little bit more steps for them to give the kind of results that you are looking for, right? Or for them to work. Or if something isn't immediate, doesn't mean that it isn't working. It just might mean that it's simmering, right? It's in the process of turning into something. And I was talking about selectivity, being selective as to who you allow into your personal space. And then I went in a whole new direction. But yeah, going back to like personal relationships, interrelationships, some of you could have recently experienced some kind of disappointment in a relationship. I'm seeing a friendship, to be more specific, or in regards to maybe a community or a friend group, like a social group. And it seems like that has opened your eyes to the importance of cultivating or curating. Is that a correct term to use in this kind of situation? But taking the time to like form your inner circle. And that has maybe led to you being a little bit more selective. Or what I'm seeing in specific is like someone now being more, I think there's a word for it, but it's not coming to mind, more considerate or just mindful of like who they call friend, right? Who they give that title to. Because this makes me think of someone who is now moving from like immediately handing out their trust to now building trust in a relationship, or building that friendship over time. Yeah, so there could be something here, but like slow build, or just getting to know people, or just choosing to be more selective as to who you call a friend, right? Who you share your inner world with. Because you're seeing that maybe not every single person you come across with immediately deserves access to certain parts of yourself. Right, so you're taking better care of not only your personal space, but also maybe your mental space, your mind, your heart. There's this feeling of you have to earn my trust. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting here. And I feel like this kind of outlook, this way of thinking, hasn't been one that you've always had, or it wasn't the outlook that you used to have. But maybe you're moving towards that. And I sense some resistance from some of you, like you don't really like this. Because the vibe I get from the Nine of Cups is that of someone who feels like their bubble has just been burst, right? Like they had this idea of how things were, and now they're realizing that it's not exactly like that, or it's not always like that, right? And they're having a little bit of like difficulty grasping that things are sometimes different from their ideals, or their idealistic notion of things. But I want to let you guys know that you coming to these realizations doesn't mean that the core of you has to change. Doesn't mean that you have to like either stop caring or stop believing in people, or stop believing in like beautiful harmonious relationships, in deep connections, or in maybe connections at first sight, right? Because remember, this world is very complex. We humans are very complex. And if there is room for some things, there is room for other things. And so just because something is and exists doesn't mean that something else cannot be and exist as well. Right? There's just a little bit of everything in this world. And so although we have to, maybe sometimes we need to be careful, just mindful and a little bit more selective as to who we allow into our space, that doesn't mean that we won't come across people who are trustworthy right from the very beginning. Right? Because that can be true as well. It's not always one or the other. Remember, this world is multifaceted. So is every individual in this world. So I hope that one experience that maybe was a letdown or brought about disappointments does not completely deter you from being who you are at the core and feeling as deeply as you do, or caring as much as you do, because it's not wrong to care, or it's not wrong to believe in certain ideals. Yeah, so I don't see this as being like a downgrade, because I feel like some of you might feel like it is, but based on the energy, it doesn't feel like it, especially because we have growth here. This feels more like a maturation. You are maturing, you are ripening, your mind is maturing, it's developing, you're creating new layers that add to your intricacy and that allow you more insight, that deepen your knowledge, but that don't take away from your whimsy. That's what I was getting at, because I feel like a lot of you might feel like this is taking away from your whimsy, from like your playfulness, but it isn't. It really isn't. It's just adding maturity to it. You can be whimsical while also being practical. You can be whimsical while also being aware and mindful. But we have the Three of Spades with number 10, the pig. The Three of Spades, again, reminds me of the Three of Swords in traditional tarot. I know this deck has nothing to do with the traditional tarot, but that's just how I read it and interpret it sometimes. And then the number 10 reminds me or makes me think of endings. And by the way, the number 3 is a number of expansion and growth. So more growth energy here, more evolution, I feel. So yeah, you might have experienced some kind of disappointments, or if you do experience some kind of disappointment during this time, and I see it being something like minor, or I might be perceiving it as minor, right? But everyone experiences things differently, so I don't want to put a scale or measurement to it. But I'm seeing a situation where maybe you were very excited to try something, that's something recommended, and then you try it, but it doesn't live up to the hype or the expectations that you were sold, right? And that's a letdown, that's a disappointment, like, oh man. And although that there might be that moment of, oh man, like, what a bummer, it seems like you will be getting back on your feet. Like, it's not going to keep you down for a long period of time. Or these are the things that you're learning to kind of let go of, to realize that, oh, okay, well, this didn't work, but that's fine. Something else will. Or this not working provides me with information and lets me know this is just not it for me, because I aligned with something different. I feel like you're also learning more about you during this time. And there's this feeling of self-accepting, radical self-acceptance, and, not letting like letdowns bring you completely down or keep you under, but learning to rise above it and understand that as you say no to certain things, let go and say goodbye to certain things, you come closer and closer with that which is truly of you and for you. And this is true with relationships and people as well, right? Not every person that we come across with, even though we might like them, even though we might find them very cool and likable and maybe even ideal for us, might align with us, right? We can find someone cool and like them, but still their character, their energy might not truly align with us, or their core essence might not align with our core essence. But that's okay. That's fine, because we can still like them and admire them while we allow ourselves to move towards those who we do resonate with at the core. Yeah. So again, there's this maturity. There's like this you're experiencing this deep understanding of things, maybe of relationships, connections, or of like communities, and also about your surroundings, like what belongs in your environment. And now I'm thinking of someone who is decorating a space, and at first they wanted to decorate a space exactly how they saw someone else decorate it, or in a Pinterest board, because it appealed to them. But when they start decorating their space in this way, they realize that something doesn't feel right. It just doesn't suit them, or it feels off. And they could respond to it in different ways. One of it is being really bummed out by it, feeling like something is wrong with them, or like nothing really works for them, or they didn't do something right, or simply accepting, okay, well, now that I've done this and tried it out, I realize this is not my style. I might like it, it might look pretty on pictures, but it's not for me, because what's for me is something that I have yet to create. Right? Maybe it's not a copy and paste kind of situation, but it's building it from the ground up. It's, like trying little different things here and there. It's a mix and match of different things. Right? So you're learning to trust more in yourself, I feel. As mentioned before, you're getting to know yourself better. You're understanding what your ideals, your personal ideals are. Not ideals that are based off on the masses' ideals, or what the beauty standards of a society or of a whole generation is. It's more so what you truly like. And this could also apply to careers, right? It's not about what everybody else is doing, what everybody thinks it's an amazing career, what everybody else thinks is the way to success or the way to happiness, whether it be being self-employed, being a freelancer, being an influencer, an entrepreneur, a creative, a content creator, or working a 9 to 5, being employed, having a corporate job, having a blue collar job, having a technical job. Society doesn't get to decide that for me. I do. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting here. That's kind of like what you are awakening to, because we did have that word wake. It's like you're waking up to a new perspective. You're waking up to some kind of understanding, and it's really hitting you like an aha moment. Like, oh, okay, wait a minute. I can make changes. I can make decisions. I can decide for myself. It's not up to some general standard, especially not when it comes to how I perceive my life, how I perceive myself, what I choose for myself. But now I'm going to move on to this Oracle deck to find out two things. First, we're going to look at what is something to look out for this month, and then I'm going to pull out a card to find out what is something to look forward to. Also, if you have recently experienced a breakup, whether it be with a friend or someone who you were romantically seeing, it seems like this is a time of healing, but also this is a time in which you again, you're getting kind of your mojo back, or you are like recovering from maybe a heartache or heartbreak, but you are definitely getting your spark back. You're getting back up. You're getting back up on your feet during this period. For some, it could be that you're feeling more like yourself if recently you haven't been feeling all that much like yourself. And with the first quarter here, this feels like the start of a beginning, the start of maybe a new cycle, because we do have the number 10 here. And I'm just noticing if we add up 7 and 6, we get 13, and 13 is the number of the death card, because it is the death card is the 13th major arcana of the deck, which is a card of endings, transformation, and rebirth. So you are going through some kind of, maybe like I said, a wake-up call or awakening or some kind of rebirth. But we have, again, the number 3. I did speak of the number 3 when mentioning the 3 of spades, which indicates growth and expansion. And we have how's your mom, your people, reach out, strong roots, connection, presence, reunion, and foundation. Yeah, so again, this makes me think of you building your community, you building your inner circle, you maybe focusing more on your inner circle, you focusing on creating or growing a healthy inner or social circle or friend group. You're finding your people. Maybe that's what some of you are kind of focusing on now. Or what I'm seeing is you're letting your people approach you. Right? There's this feeling, I'm not saying this was the case, it's just something that is coming through, which is like forcing connections. And now instead of forcing connections, there's a letting and allowing for connections to be formed, like more organically. So for some, although we do have the 11th house here, I'm getting a bit of like different messages here. One of the messages coming through is, for some of you, this is a time in which you will be focusing more on yourself, focusing on getting to know yourself, build a stronger relationship with your inner being. And through you doing that, you're kind of attracting your people, you're attracting your tribe, because through you being more authentic, You shed all the layers that were attracting people who were drawn to those layers that masked the version of you that is closest to home, to your core essence. But in general, this feels more like you allowing yourself to be more like yourself just automatically will attract your kind of people, right? Because then you won't be worrying about putting up an act for anybody in fear of losing their interest. You'll simply be focused more on being you, and whoever stays is because they're genuinely interested in getting to know you. And if you stay, it's because you're genuinely interested in getting to know them. It's not simply about wanting to gain their interest or wanting to keep their interest. It's more, oh, I'm here because I'm interested in you, right? So that could be the case for some. Again, only take that which resonates. But for others of you, I feel like this could be a message of possibly during this time you reaching out to certain people who maybe you had a falling out with because there was misunderstandings, because there was a lack of communication on your part. Maybe there was something that you weren't able to say then, that now you're ready to say now. And because you're ready to open up, that's why you might be thinking of reaching out to them. Or you're being let known that something can be resolved through you reaching out, through you opening up. Right? Or through you asking for more clarification is also what I'm seeing. So that's just something to consider. But I do see the possibility of someone reaching out to you during this time, someone making a comeback. And this, again, this may be someone you had a falling out with, or who you didn't leave on such a good terms with, or who things were left unclear with them. And this person coming back into your life doesn't mean that, I don't know where this is coming through. Maybe it's a message some of you were like inquiring about, or something that some of you were concerned about. But what I'm hearing is it doesn't mean that you've regressed, or it doesn't mean that you haven't moved on. It simply means that this is an opportunity for you to be able to maybe find closure or to let go of this person if this isn't someone you want back into your life. You know, remember, we can extend forgiveness without giving access again to someone we've decided to, move on from, let go of, or distance ourselves from for your mental health, mental well-being, etc. Yeah, but with foundation here in building, there's this feeling of starting over, but when it comes to your community or a community, when it comes to a friend group, you kind of cultivating, there's this feeling of you cultivating your inner circle. You focusing on the people who have been with you through thick and thin, or you concentrating more on building those kind of solid, intimate relationships. Maybe focusing more on intimacy rather than popularity. That's for some, doesn't have to be for everybody. Yeah, because what I thought right now is I don't have to be surrounded by 100 people to feel seen or to feel connected. I can be in the company of one person and feel seen. I can feel connected to all that is. I can be in my own company and feel seen and feel connected to all that is, not feel alone, right? So again, there could be some shifts in thinking and perspective when it comes to connection or when it comes to company. I'm being reminded of a quote from the John Hughes 80s film, Some Kind of Wonderful. It's said by the character Amanda Jones. If you have not seen Some Kind of Wonderful, I recommend it. It's one of my favorite 80s films, John Hughes 80s films. But Amanda Jones famously says in that movie, I'd rather be alone for the right reasons than with someone for the wrong. Right? So I don't know if you resonate with that, but I was reminded of that quote, so I felt inclined to share it in case it is of significance for anyone. But yeah, I feel like you are connecting, or you're being let know that you will be connecting with your people, with your tribe. Those who you will establish a beautiful bond with, a solid bond with, and who your relationship will be founded on trust, on mutual trust, most importantly, because we have the Seven of Swords here, which can indicate the opposite, and on loyalty, fidelity. Roots also make me think of getting to the root of something. Yeah, so if something has been bugging you, if there's been some kind of like ailment, or like you've had some kind of reaction to something, or you've been feeling a little like off, you're finding the root cause of it, or you're getting to the bottom of it. You're finding out what's causing this, or what is this a side effect of at some point during Taurus season or the month of May. And you're healing that, because we have this beautiful healthy tree, which makes me think of good health, vitality, and stability, strength. Okay, I'm so sorry if this sounds very strange and awkward, but you are a beautiful being. You are a beautiful person. You are strong of heart, and you are strong of mind. You are like a sturdy, beautiful, fruitful tree. Not yellow trees, but like trees that grow yellow flowers could be of significance. You might be surrounded by those kind of trees or see them often during this time. The color yellow does make me think of friendship. I feel like some of you could be reconnecting with an old friend, especially if this is something you've been wanting. If you have been wanting to maybe apologize, or you have been wanting to make amends with someone, if you have been wanting to reconcile, I feel like this is mutual. The person who you feel this way about also feels this way about your connection, about like wanting to reconcile with you. And I feel like there will be an opportunity to like reunite with this person and talk things out with them, to be honest with each other. And there's this feeling of there's been some time since you've last seen each other, since you've last connected, spoke to each other. And throughout that time, you each have grown immensely. Like you've each have maybe introspected on what happened, you self-reflected, and now you're in a place where you understand yourselves more, and you understand the motives behind your behaviors, your reactions, your actions, and you're coming forth with new outlooks, with a new perspective on the past, on your connection, your relationship with each other. And yeah, you're coming through a lot more mature, each one of you. And so I feel like this time, if you wanted to talk things out, you will be able to talk things out in a way that will allow for more honesty and transparency. Yeah, and if you both wanted to like deepen or grow your relationship, or resume it, or just start over, I feel like it's very possible. Like you can, right? And this relationship can actually deepen. I was all of a sudden reminded of the Golden Trio from Harry Potter, Ron, Hermione, and Harry. You know, in the first movie, or in the first book, there was some misunderstanding between Ron, Harry versus Hermione. And it was not until they all faced a troll that they like reached some kind of mutual understanding. They each saw where they were coming from. They like tested each other's loyalty and courage and bravery, also like morals and principles. And they understood like, no, we're like here for each other, or we're on the same page. We would ride or die for each other. And I remember there's a passage in the book that goes, I looked it up, by the way, because I don't know it by verbatim memory. And it goes, there are some things you can't share without ending up liking each other. And knocking out a 12-foot mountain troll is one of them, right? So this makes me think of like finding your ride or die friends, you knowing who your true friends are, and you like overcoming obstacles with like people who would end up becoming your life friends, or your ride or die buddies. Well, let me see. Now something to look forward to this month. You could also be reuniting with family. The house makes me think of the 4th house, which is all about the family. Or you could be hearing from family members you haven't heard in a while. Building and growing also makes me think of growing your family, maybe your soul family, or it could be maybe your literal family. Some of you could be integrating a new member into your family during this time, whether it be like a person, a human is being integrated, or a furry animal, an animal companion. Also, for those of you who have a community, maybe who have a following, you will have new followers, or there will be new members entering into your community. Yeah, this growth card makes me think of growing a following. And then we have lipstick on a pig with artifice, denial, cover up, trickery, superficiality, frivolity, foolishness, and look closer. Yeah, I think this is indicating discernment. Your discernment has improved greatly, or you are discerning a lot better who is maybe trustworthy, or like what is for you, what does align with you, what you do really resonate with. There's this lipstick on a pig is making me think of like self-deception. And what I'm seeing is there's little to no self-deception going on here. Like you're being a lot more honest with yourself. Or like that's the goal. That's what you're aiming for. Honesty, transparency, not just when it comes between you and others, but also between you and yourself, your inner being. The lipstick on a pig, at least the illustration, also makes me think of like faking it till you make it, the expression. Yeah, so you're not holding back this period. You're really owning it. Whatever it is that you want to see more of, however it is that you want to feel, you're owning it. You're dressing the part. You're not waiting to feel that way, to dress that way. You're dressing that way to embody the way that you want to feel and to encourage that feeling. And you're not afraid of being cringe. That word is like funny in and of itself, like cringe, it sounds funny. But you're not like worried about that. I think some of you are realizing that those people who worry about being cringe are people who really have trouble being themselves and who are more afraid of being perceived a certain way than just living their truth. And you're deciding that you want to be on the other side of all of this. You want to be the one having fun. You want to be the one enjoying yourself and, strutting your stuff and feeling yourself. And so if it means being on the other side of the whole, trying to look cool and be cool, that's totally fine. At least that's the vibe I'm getting here, because this pig looks very, very happy. And then the number 4 makes me think of stability. The number 3, 4, 34 could be of significance, by the way. These are like ascending numbers. We have 3 and 4 of the same deck, ascending numbers, consecutive numbers, which always makes me think again of growth and progress. Yeah, so again, maturation, growth. Your mind is expanding. You're maybe thinking a little outside of the box. You're getting out of the social norms. Or you are no longer feeling constricted by social expectations, the status quo, that sort of thing. As mentioned before, you could be trying out like new makeup. You could be experimenting with like fashion, with like accessories as well. Some of you could be like letting go of gender norms when it comes to like how you style yourself, how you dress. There's something about like pearls. I remember there was a time in which like pearl necklaces were in fashion with not only those who identified as female, but also with those who identified as male. They wore pearl necklaces. And so, yeah, you could be donning something that might in the past have been only associated with a specific gender. Ooh, and something to look forward to this month or season is you feeling more comfortable about or with something that you tried in the past and you felt a bit out of place when trying it out, right? So just as an example, when I was younger, I felt very self-conscious about wearing makeup because I had certain insecurities and that made me self-conscious about wearing makeup or applying makeup. Anytime I did, and then I looked in the mirror, I just didn't like it. I thought I looked silly. I thought I looked like a clown or even scary. But now, as an adult, I've been trying makeup and wearing makeup, and I've been liking my reflection every time I look in the mirror with this makeup on. And I feel like it has to do with the fact that now I am applying makeup in a way that feels right to me, that suits me. I'm not trying to do what everybody else was doing, like wearing eyeliner. That's just something that doesn't work for me or I don't like. And I'm not forcing it anymore. And that works for me. And that is helping me better understand what I like and how I like to look. And it's boosting my confidence in regards to makeup, right? So I am sharing this with you because I feel like this could help better illustrate what I sense a lot of you experiencing or possibly going through during this time. It might not have to do with makeup. It could have to do with something else entirely. But the point is you getting comfortable with something that you were intimidated by in the past or felt self-conscious about, and you're getting comfortable with it because you're doing it your way. You're owning it. You're not trying to force it. You're approaching it in a more natural and organic way. And that is what is working for you. That is what is making you feel comfortable about this. Like you belong. Yeah, because there's this feeling of a sense of belonging. You're not only finding your people or your community, you're finding your stuff, the things that work for you, what works for you, your taste, your style. And there's this feeling of you getting more comfortable with reality, with maybe a little bit of practicality, not seeing it as something that removes the whimsy from your life. Like, I don't know why this example is coming to mind in specific, but let's say person A is now realizing that they could be an accountant and still be whimsy or have a whimsical life. It doesn't have to be one or the other. They can be serious at times when they have to, and then they can be playful when they can, when they need to be. So you could be, because I mentioned whimsy a lot, you could be adding a little bit more whimsy into your life. Or, like I said, a lot of you are realizing that you don't have to stop being whimsy. The whimsy from your life doesn't have to be removed completely. But let me see. Now I'm just going to draw out an extra oracle card to get any last messages, advice, and or guidance for you guys. Oh, by the way, I noticed we have 2 pigs. So pigs could be an important animal, a spirit animal, a power animal of yours, or the year of the pig could be of significance. Maybe you were born in the year of the pig, or someone who was born in the year of the pig will be playing a significant role in your life. But I personally associate pig with abundance. With abundance and prosperity. And in actuality, pigs are quite hygienic. They are very clean animals. So it also makes me think of personal hygiene, cleanliness. So this is a time in which you're maybe prioritizing your personal hygiene, you're prioritizing your health, and you're prioritizing self-care. You're prioritizing feeling, not only looking good, but feeling good. You're looking after you and you're feeling good about yourself. You're feeling good being you. I am smiling because this energy here is just like so adorable. Yeah, I feel like this is the exact energy, like you're shining your light, and this is what is, bringing in good vibes into your life, bringing in good people, good energy into your life, or it soon will. You might even be inspiring other people, like, hey, I want to feel as good as group 2 is feeling or looks like they're feeling. But we have, if you find yourself forcing or efforting, take a break. Everything feels effortless after alignment of your energy. That's what I was talking about. Oh my goodness. Yeah, there you go. Confirmation. Yeah, I feel like you're letting go of the whole forcing for anything. It could be connections. It could be relationships, forcing interest. Although maybe you might still think about how you're being perceived from time to time, which if you end up thinking about that, it's okay. I mean, like, we all think of it. It's not like we're completely immune to that. But it seems like you're not prioritizing it as much, or you're not letting it rule over your life or your decisions. The rainbow here is rainbows could be of significance. We have 2 rainbows in your spread, one above this building, this house, and one colorful rainbow here. So rainbows make me think of like happiness and joy and imagination, childlike wonder, play. It also reminds me a lot of SpongeBob, because if you know, there's that one episode where he goes imagination and a rainbow appears. Yeah, so you're not letting go of your whimsy. SpongeBob is very, very whimsy and he has loads of fun, but he's also very serious about his career, about his fry cooking, and he's also very serious about his friendships and relationships. And he owns a house, a pineapple house, but it's his, you know? And he takes care of his animal companion, Gary, and he loves him and takes care of him very well. So you can be whimsy and you can be serious and you can be a responsible person while still having that whimsy in your life and being imaginative and being playful. You can do both. It doesn't have to be one or the other. And yeah, you don't have to force any connection or relationship, right? You don't have to force anybody or put a lot of effort into maintaining someone's interest or to having someone like you. Relationships don't have to be like that. And I feel like that's what you're finding out because you are connecting with people where you can be effortless with them. You could be silly with them and they're still there. They're still very much laughing with you and goofing off with you and being silly with you. Yeah, and I love how we have all these beautiful, healthy plants here because again, it makes me think of good health and harmony. Yeah. So that's what I'm seeing for you guys. Beautiful energy. Yeah, and this is what I was speaking about. Alignment of your energy. Right? It's your energy that attracts. Right? So let your energy shine. Let your multicoloredness, multifaceted shine. The rainbow also makes me think of the LGBT community. So that community could be of significance. Maybe you used to identify a lot with that community or not specifically to the LGBT community, but maybe there was a specific community or social group that you identified with or that you maybe associated your identity with, thinking that your whole identity was that community. And now you're realizing that, no, you're more than that. You're more than just this community, right? And, you know, this family tree here, these roots also makes me think of like culture, right? You're more than just your culture. You're a whole multifaceted intricate person. There is more to you than just one thing. There's more to you than just like a religion, a belief, an expectation, social standards, a label, etc. Okay, these are all the messages coming through for you guys. Things I want to point out. I mentioned rainbows, pigs, piglets, trees, fruit trees could be of significance, or trees that like with flowers in them, colorful flowers, bright flowers. I heard vines. Vines could be of significance. The zodiac sign Aquarius and angels, angel numbers, angelic beings could be of significance as well as flowers. The color pink as well. Music could be of significance. You could be listening to a lot of music during this time. You could be learning how to play an instrument. You could be resuming playing an instrument. You could be attending musical performances, musical events, or if you are musicians, you could be performing or sharing your music at some point during Taurus season or the month of May. You could also be connecting with someone who is a musician or who is a music fanatic, and they could be teaching you a lot about music or a specific music genre or exposing you to a different music genre. Okay, but these are all the messages coming through for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it brought some guidance and clarity. If it did, then please leave a like or a comment. And if you're new to this channel and you wish to stick around for more readings with me, Kim, then please do subscribe. I do offer personal readings. All the information is in my website, and the link to my website can be found in the description box down below. To all of you who took the time to watch the advertisements or just let them play in the background, thank you so much for that, since that is the simplest way to support me and to support this growing channel. So if you did, I truly do appreciate it. And before I sign off, I want to give a thanks to my spirit team and your spirit guides for assisting me with delivering these messages to you. Thank you so very much, and I'm wishing you and your loved ones a wonderful Taurus season and month of May. And until the next moment, bye bye. Hello, if you were drawn to the What's in Your Stars Oracle deck, bienvenidos to your reading. So this Taurus season or month of May, you may be making room or clearing up disk space. The reason why I mention this is because before I started your reading, this little voice kept nagging at me to delete the previous files in my SD card, the one I'm using for the camera I'm recording with, to clear up space, memory storage. But I kept thinking to myself, that it was unnecessary because there was and there is enough room to film your reading. But that little voice kept nagging and nagging and nagging. I didn't listen to it. I went right ahead and started recording without deleting those previous files. So let's see how it goes. But that really stood out to me. And so it seems that this could maybe be an indicator that some of you will be taking it upon yourselves to maybe declutter a literal physical space or to clean up some disk space. Maybe a device of yours has been running pretty slow lately because of a lack of storage, memory storage. But for others of you, this may be an indicator that it is during this time you will be releasing or letting go of some emotional baggage, perhaps. Maybe some of you will take it upon yourself to do an energy cleansing, and that will be helping your energy feel lighter, or that will help with you feeling a lot more centered, because there was a point when meditating on the energy of this group that I did feel very centered and grounded. And it immediately made me think of meditation for whatever reason, like someone meditating or doing some kind of grounding exercise to feel more centered. So either during Taurus season or the month of May, you may be resuming, starting, or maybe continuing a meditation practice, or you could be finding some grounding exercise that will really work for you. Or without meditation, without any grounding exercises, you will find yourself feeling a lot more centered and balanced. But before I felt grounded, I did experience a bit of indecision. I did experience or pick up on this back and forth. I heard the expression dilly-dallying. So at some point, there could be a bit of indecisiveness on your part. And it could actually be this back and forth, this indecision that will lead you to a meditation practice or to a grounding exercise as a means to either better connect with your inner knowing, your intuition, or to allow yourself a moment of peace and clarity to then be able to make a decision, or possibly just to trust more in yourself, to trust in the unfoldment of things. Now, the message "we work till dawn" came to mind, and this message may be quite literal in that either during Taurus season or at some point in the month of May, you will be working till dawn, you will be working into the late hours, or you could be waking up super early to start working on a project or to get to work if you commute to your job, or just to get working, maybe even to get studying for those of you who are students or are currently taking classes, courses, or even self-learning. But I do see you getting pretty busy. It's interesting how it came through, getting pretty busy, because it does feel like a lot of you are taking it upon yourself to get work done or to get studying done, as well as to make progress at some point during this period. So as an example, a student is deciding to wake up a little earlier than they normally do to get some studying done before they actually attend their classes, right? Or someone who is wanting to launch their own business is setting some time aside in the evening or in the night to work on this business of theirs. But I also feel that regardless whether you are taking it upon yourself to get some extra work done or to work on your side projects, etc., you will be quite occupied with your day-to-day responsibilities, with your current work, with school. So things might be getting pretty busy at some point. I don't feel it will be for the entirety of Taurus season and the month of May. It more so feels like a specific period, like a window of time in which your schedule might be pretty packed, or you will find yourself being quite busy. And because the message look for a new way came to mind, this could be hinting at that a lot of you will actually be looking for a new way to plan or schedule or to organize your schedule or to tackle responsibilities or to do what it is that you want to do. That is maybe separate from your day job, school, or your day-to-day tasks. Yeah, I feel like some of you will be getting pretty crafty, or you might find yourself needing to get pretty crafty, maybe strategic, to attend to whatever it is that you need to attend to in an efficient manner and in a way that doesn't take away from you or that allows for you to keep going or keep moving at a pace that works for you. Okay, but now I'm going to move on to the oracle, or the first set of cards more like, and I'm going to set this aside. I'll be using it at the end of your reading. And this first set of cards will give us information about, will give us an overview of this month, as well as a look at the main themes or lessons of Taurus season and the month of May. So we're getting an overview of not just the month of May, but also Taurus season. Okay, and your first card, yeah, resourcefulness. That's a word that was coming to mind. Resourcefulness. When I mentioned strategic and efficient, I was also thinking of being resourceful. So we have the fourth house with Sun in Cancer. Crows, ravens, or black feathered birds could be of significance. I thought of the word avian, which is related to birds, or it's another word for birds, I believe. But it's not one that I normally use in my day-to-day vocabulary. So, ooh, this could be hinting at that. You will be adding new words to your vocabulary, or you will be showing off new words. Like maybe words that you already had in your vocabulary that you already knew, but you didn't regularly use. You're going to start using them now. I wonder if some of you are intentionally expanding your vocabulary, or you are learning a new language, or you are learning more about your native language. But Sun in Cancer could be of significance. You could be a Cancer Sun, or someone who is a Cancer Sun, maybe playing a significant role in your life during this period, or Cancer season could be of significance. I felt a little bit of excitement when I mentioned Cancer season. So something exciting may be occurring this Cancer season of 2026. Yeah, I got excited again when I mentioned Cancer season. Okay, so we have Juno with traditional marriage, long-term relationships, and business partnerships. Interesting. I feel like something will be flourishing, blossoming, or I heard taking root during Cancer season. And this, which is flourishing, blossoming, or rooting, will be a seed that you planted or was planted during this period. And because we do have Juno here, for a lot of you, this could have to do with a relationship, a connection, or a manifestation that has to do with relationships, connections, especially long-term partnerships. Also collaborations. So we have the Three of Pentacles, which made me think immediately of work. It also made me think of collaborations. The Three of Pentacles often indicates collaborative work, teamwork. It's also a card that indicates commitment, dedication, and attention to detail. The fact that we have these coins falling out of this paper bag, again, makes me think of resourcefulness. Because how I'm taking it is someone is being conscientious of their spending habits. So either it could be during Taurus season, because Taurus is associated with the second house, which is the house of resources. So maybe during Taurus season, you will feel this need or this desire to budget, open up a savings account, or set money aside for like future expenses or for emergency. What I heard in my mind is give yourself a limit. Again, makes me think of budgeting, right? On certain things, maybe on frivolities, as a means to keep yourself accountable, perhaps. Yeah, I see a lot of you, I see in my mind's eye, a lot of you kind of looking into where your money is going, and if there is any way in which you can save or in which you can reduce the amount of expenses that you have. Some of you could be maybe canceling subscriptions that you don't use, or cutting back on certain expenses that you might find are not really necessary, all for the means of saving or just being a lot more resourceful. Because the other thing I'm seeing is a lot of you getting pretty good at catching deals or like using coupons or discounts, that sort of thing. Others of you might take an interest in thrifting or upcycling. I heard also in my mind reducing waste, like sustainability, for example. I also heard the expression money savvy. So yeah, you may be getting pretty money savvy during this period. I keep hearing in my mind cutting back expenses. You could also be, if you work at a company, maybe helping your company or an organization with building a cost efficiency strategy. If you are business owners, that's something that you might also be working on or looking into during this period. And when I talked about all of this, I felt pretty excited. It seems like something is working for you. If you have been wanting to reduce expenses, if you have been wanting to build a cost efficiency strategy, or maybe build a sustainable business, it seems like you're either getting there or you're off to a good start, or you will be off to a good start during this period if you decide to like start looking into that, start working on that. Ooh, wow. Okay, so we have two peas in a pod with number 11, soul partnership, resonance, true love, mirror match, blessings, and life mate. Why do I feel like this energy of partnership is something that is incoming? It could be that some of you will be working with a partner. You will be collaborating with someone or others during this time. And I heard efficiently, collaborating, working efficiently with another or with others. Yeah, you may be working with someone or studying with someone who is quite resourceful, who is also quite knowledgeable in a certain field that could be applied or will be applied to whatever it is that you are working on together. I heard it's a pleasure to work with this person. So you might find it, some of you might find yourself very lucky to have been partnered up with this person, or to have this person on your side, on your team, to get to work with them. But I do feel like what I heard right now in my mind was constant companion. So from the very start of Taurus season, a lot of you will have the support, maybe the moral, emotional, could even be financial support. It could be of a loved one, of a friend, of a colleague, or just of a partner, all the way till the end of May. And I heard and onwards. Yeah, so you have someone on your side, you have someone on your team who you can rely on, who you can go to for advice or counsel, or who offers amazing counsel, or who is just very supportive and very realistic, very practical as what I heard. But very considerate as well. They don't speak truth to be mean. They speak truth to help, to assist, is what I heard in my mind. But if you are in a business partnership, it seems like during this time you will be working very closely with your business partner to improve profit, is what I heard, or to reduce losses, or to create some kind of financial strategy. And I heard there is a need to, for some of you, you will find it necessary to work on this, to look into this, and to work with your partner in order to address these matters. For those of you who are married, I think this is a similar message that came through for group 1. For those of you who are married or who are partnered up with another, who share expenses with another, or live with another, whether this be a romantic partner or not, it seems like you and this person are going to sit down, have a chat about, maybe the rent, about the bills, how to share the expenses, how to maybe create together a more sustainable living situation or even lifestyle. Because some of you could share like the grocery expenses, that sort of thing. So I see open communication, which is quite nice. And I also see this goal for resourcefulness, for efficiency, for sustainability, which is also nice. Because this symbol here in the resourcefulness card, which is reminding me of the sun, and then because we do have the sun energy here, is really standing out to me. And the sun to me indicates vitality, health, and fortune. So this lets me know that what your aim is, what your goal is to actually create a higher quality or better quality of life, right? It's to maybe focus on that which is necessary. It's to not deprioritize your basic needs, but prioritize those instead. And cut back on anything that isn't healthy, that isn't helpful, that isn't sustainable, or that maybe not only depletes you of your resources, but also affects the quality of your life in some kind of way. So I think the key theme here is like sustainability, resourcefulness, efficiency, as well as honesty. I'm seeing a lot of transparency here, like open communication between you and those who you live with, those who you share expenses with, those who you work with, and also honesty and transparency with yourself, which is quite nice. But I was talking about receiving messages about something that is going to happen in the future. And so in terms to that, for some of you, I do see a connection coming into play in the near future. Like I said, it could be in the month of June. The word Juno made me think of June, and Cancer season does fall in the month of June and July. And this partnership, this connection, this relationship could be taking seed or could be rooting during this time. I did speak of a manifestation, so maybe some of you will be manifesting during Taurus season or the month of May. Maybe you manifested something during the month of April, and you're being let known in this reading that your manifestation has rooted, right? Like the seed has rooted and it's on its way to sprouting and then flourishing. And as I mentioned, this manifestation has something to do with a relationship, a partnership. I'm seeing a long-term partnership, but it could have to do simply with a connection, or as mentioned before, with maybe a collaboration. Maybe there's someone you want to collaborate with or have an opportunity to possibly collaborate with, and you're being let know it's happening, it's in the works, and it's very likely that it will come to be around Cancer season, maybe the month of June. Could also be July. Yeah, but the fact that we have life mate here and long-term relationship is really standing out to me. So if you are currently seeing someone, if you have been dating someone for a while, it seems like your relationship is flourishing and developing beautifully. It seems like you two are, I saw a tree that is deeply, deeply rooted, or it's becoming deeply rooted as time progresses. So this person who you are dating may be someone who during this period, during Taurus season and the month of May, you will start seeing yourself developing a future with them or having a future with them. You may, both of you, start making future plans together, or you may find that now a lot of what you talk about is the future, like what you're going to do together, right? What you're going to create together, not only your individual dreams, but also your dreams as a couple, your dreams for your partnership or for your relationship, that sort of thing. Yeah, some of you who are in a relationship, could even be thinking about partnering up with your significant other to start some kind of business or to work on a project. I could see this also being true when it comes to a friend, a platonic relationship. You could be talking with a friend about starting a business together or working on a project, on a future project that maybe you're going to launch or you're going to begin or you're going to shoot, is what I heard. I thought of like shooting a video sometime around Cancer season or the month of May. Yeah, so this time could be a time of planning, talking it out, communicating, or just awakening, becoming aware to the fact that, I do see a future with this person, or I would like to work on this and this with this person in the future, or further develop my relationship, deepen my connection with this specific person. Yeah, because we do have the fourth house here, which is the house of family and home. So this could be about you now imagining building a home with another, or realizing that you have found actually the person you want to settle down with, the person who you want to start a family with, build a home with. Yeah, for those of you who are in a relationship, in a committed relationship, who have been with someone for a while, you could be thinking during this time about starting a family. This could be conceiving, giving birth to a child, or adopting a child, or maybe adopting an animal companion, or expanding your family if you are already parents. Or some of you may be thinking about moving in with your significant other, maybe buying a place, or building your home from the ground up, from scratch. Because this, like, dirt or this landscape illustrated in the resourcefulness card, it's making me think of dirt. It's making me think of a land that has been toiled, or recently toiled. Is that the correct expression? And so we're now planting seeds in it, or we're now waiting for whatever seeds have recently been planted in it to start rooting and then sprouting and so forth. So I get this sense of like preparation, or making plans, or like setting foundations during this period. But I do feel like a lot of you have already set some kind of foundation. You have already planted some kind of seed, and you're being let know it's rooting and it's definitely growing. So keep going, especially with this Three of Pentacles. The number 3 is all about creation and expansion and growth. I keep getting, for a lot of you, if you're not interested in like romantic relationships, romantic partnerships, I do sense a friendship. And actually, it could be both. Some of you are maybe currently connecting with, or you are in a relationship with someone who is not only your romantic partner, but also your best friend, right? Or you have found, this could be a situation where a lot of you are realizing that you have found a best friend, your best friend in your romantic partner, or vice versa. Or soon you will be coming into union, coming into alignment with someone who might start off as a friend and who will eventually become a romantic partner of yours, or your life mate, your life partner. But for others of you, it may be that you are coming into union, you are coming into alignment with a platonic, let's call it a platonic soulmate, with a bosom friend, with a best friend. right? Someone who you can share your ideas with, someone who you can share your dreams with and be yourself with and be inspired by, to be the best that you can be, or to be your most authentic selves. Yes, a lot of you have met, or you soon will be meeting your match, whether that be in the romantic sense or just in a more platonic way. But again, it could be both. This would be someone who gets you. Also someone who grounds you, someone who knows how to anchor you. Be realistic with you without crushing your dreams. Like, them be realistic is not about crushing your dreams or bursting your bubbles, but rather keeping you grounded, keeping you level-headed in order for you to ground your dreams, right? Not just dream the dream, but actually make it come true, make it real. Okay, and your other card is the Jack of Clubs with number 45, the Order. Beautiful. The message on this card reads, the Order denotes honor and recognition of labor, a sure sign of business success. Wow. And I like how we have this medallion, this medal here, because again, it makes me think of recognition. It made me think of monarchy, kings, queens, high status. So you may be receiving some kind of honorary mention or some kind of honors. For those of you who are students, because I mentioned the month of June, and that is usually the month in which a lot of students do graduate, you may be graduating with honors, or you may be given some kind of honorary mention at your graduation or at some kind of school ceremony. For those of you who have applied to scholarships or to some kind of grant, it seems like you're getting it. You're receiving the financial aid or the financial support. But because we do have the Three of Pentacles, if you've been working very hard, if you've been diligent, maybe some of you have been spending long hours working on a project, perfecting or just bettering a skill, or you have been working on your craft, staying late into the night doing so, or you've been studying diligently. Your efforts are paying off. And there's this feeling of waiting, like long waiting, having waited for a long period. So if you feel like you have been waiting for the recognition, if you have been waiting for not necessarily just the praise, but for the results, right? If you have been waiting to see the fruition of your hard work, your effort, your dedication, it seems like soon you will see it or receive it, these positive results, this recognition. Yeah, because I feel like maybe recently all you have been receiving is breadcrumbs. You might be receiving some recognition, but it's very sparse and it's minimal is what I heard. Or maybe it's not to the scale that you were expecting or that you feel equals the amount of effort you actually put into your work or that you have invested. Maybe it's not to the level, the percentage of the amount of resources you have invested, possibly because we have resourcefulness here. And if that is the case, soon things will start matching up or leveling out. We do have the number 11 here, which reminds me of the Justice card in traditional tarot, since it is in a lot of decks the 11th major arcana. In some decks, the 11th major arcana is the Strength card, which makes me think of courage, perseverance, and patience as well. But I was reminded of the Justice card, which is associated with the zodiac sign Libra, by the way, which makes me think of balance and, of course, justice, right? So it seems like things will balance themselves out pretty soon. What you will be receiving, whether it be through recognition, whether it be in profit, whether it be in opportunities, maybe financial or other opportunities that you've been seeking or needing, will match or will equal the amount of effort that you already have put in, right? Because I did mention something about the seeds that you have already planted are the ones that are rooting and will soon sprout, flourish, or blossom, right? And bear you fruit. So this is not a message of like put in more work, but rather, no, the work you already have put in, what you already have invested will soon give back to you. It will give back to you, you know. But I feel like this is still like this kind of message is not deterring you, or it's not stopping you from continuing to look out for yourself by, you know, doing whatever it is in your hands, in your current capability and maybe even power to improve your situation, to help yourself financially, or to keep afloat is what I heard. Yeah, and if you're making some changes this month, if you are taking it upon yourself to improve something or to be diligent, it seems like whatever work you're putting during this period, it's giving you results quickly, or soon you will get double the results, like the positive results of that. Because something else that was coming through at the beginning is that during this time, a lot of you could be catching up, right? So if you have things pending, if you have been maybe procrastinating or setting some things on the side for a later time, it's during this period that you will be attending to those things, like getting them out of the way, or just doing your very best, like actually putting in time to attend to those things, to make progress. There's something here about making progress. What I saw in my mind's eye right now was like a status bar, like getting filled up. So yeah, you are making progress, or you're wanting to. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting here, like you're wanting to make progress. Yeah, okay, so I was going to pull out a card for what is something that you are being advised to look out for this month, and what you got is the Devil card, which is associated with the zodiac sign Capricorn. And I was not meant to pull out a card from this deck. I was meant to pull out these oracle cards. Yeah, this is what happens when I get into a reading and I just go with the flow. I improvise. I don't do as I plan to do. So there could be some improvisation during this time. Things might change at the last minute, and therefore you might need to improvise. Or, you know, if you are someone who loves to plan, loves to be prepared, you might find that during either Taurus season or at some point in the month of May, instead of like planning, you are going more with the flow. You might still make plans and have plans, but at the last minute in the moment, instead of going with whatever you planned, going with the plan, you might end up improvising. And it seems like it's working for you. It's giving you positive results. But for what to look out for, we have the Devil card. And the Devil card can be pretty intense. It's associated with the 10th house, which is the house of career, social status, public image. But because the Devil can speak of addiction and codependency, something to look out for this month is maybe an addiction to work. The word workaholic is coming to mind. So, this is reminding me of what I mentioned before. Some of you might feel, or you might come to the conclusion that if you're not seeing results, it's because you're not doing enough, right? And so in order for you to see results or better results, you need to do more. And remember what was mentioned recently, that it's not that you need to do more. It's rather that the seeds you have planted have been rooting, right? And sometimes that whole rooting process takes some time. And so whatever rewards, whatever positive outcomes you're going to experience or see soon will be the result of the efforts you have already put in the past. Yeah, maybe something is just taking time for it to show results. It's taking time for it to brew, for example. Now I'm being reminded of a potion or of a stew, right? It needs a little time to simmer before you can taste it and then consume it and be totally blown away by the deliciousness or the efficiency of it. Yeah, so with the devil card, I feel like this is also pertaining to being mindful of this sort of mentality that you're not doing enough, because you are doing everything that is currently in your power, in your hands. You are doing well, right? So just something to look out for this month is that the tendency to overwork, the tendency to feel like you need to push yourself to the extreme. And I feel like this also goes hand in hand with the whole budgeting thing. There's nothing wrong with budgeting. Sometimes it's necessary, but remember what was also said. There is no need to cut back on your basic necessities. Yeah, there's this feeling with the devil card of not overdoing it, because the devil card is or the devil is quite extreme. It leans to extremes, right? So if you're gonna budget, if you're going to save, keep it moderate. At least that's the advice or suggestion for you guys. No need to take it to any extremes, because then that could lead to unhealthy tendencies or behaviors, addictions, obsessions, and so forth. And we don't need to go over there. And now the devil card also makes me think of contracts. Makes me think of collaboration. So as mentioned before, it's very likely that this is a time in which you're going to collaborate, work with others. Some of you may be working under a contract, or you could be offered or provided with some kind of contract. If you are working on a project, or if you're thinking about starting to work with another, it seems like this is going to be for the long term, not for the rest of your life, but this is something that it's going to last maybe for several weeks, months, a year, or more than that, right? I see you being tied down to something, like tied down to a job. And what I mean by that is you are employed somewhere. You are under a contract. You are contracted by someone to work for them for a set amount of time, or you have a full-time position somewhere. Yeah, I see you having commitments during this time. So just something to, I guess, look out for, because you're being let know ahead of time that you will have commitments, that there will be things that you will need to attend to, that there will be maybe some deadlines, or that you will be busy. There will be work. There will be responsibilities during this time. For those of you who are worried about whether you're going to, let's say, lose a job, or whether you're still going to be employed during Taurus season and the month of May, this card guarantees that you will still be employed, right? You will not lose your job. Like I said, you seem pretty tied down or bound by commitments, by a job. And I don't mean that with a negative connotation. I'm just trying to convey that you are like attached to, or just employed somewhere, okay? I'm just confusing myself. If you hear background noise, it's my neighbors. The kids are playing outside, and it's wonderful. They have no filter. They just scream and shout and have a jolly good time. So that's them in the background. I started this reading when things were pretty quiet, but at some point in the middle of the reading, they decided to come out and play, and now I'm into this reading and I don't want to pause and resume at a later time. So I'm just going to try to talk when their happy isn't too loud. But what else? The devil also makes me think of like business partnerships, like very intense, strong connections. So yeah, some of you may enter into a business partnership, or you may be thinking about it. The devil also makes me think of like a marriage contract. Some of you may be thinking about, as mentioned before, settling down with someone. If that is the case, the devil card is simply here to remind you to not lose yourself in this connection, partnership, or marriage. Maintain your autonomy and self-identity. The devil card can hint at codependency. Therefore, be careful with establishing or building a codependent relationship with another. I do actually want to pull out a clarifier for this card, the devil card. Can I have a clarifier, please? In terms to like business partnerships, marriage relationships. So we have hypocrisy, projection, similarity, blame, introspection needed, and pot calling the kettle black. Yeah, so okay, this makes me again think of this mirroring. And I did talk about you possibly meeting your match. So yeah, you may actually end up working with someone or thinking about entering into some kind of partnership, whether it be business, platonic, or romantic, with someone who will be like a mirror. They will reflect a lot of your qualities, your tendencies, maybe even characteristics back to you. And a lot of the things that they will be reflecting back to you will be things that you will end up admiring and loving, and then later realizing that it's things that you also have, that you possess. And that will end up helping with your confidence, boosting your confidence, your self-esteem, or end up with you accepting these parts of yourself. But I also see it being the case where some of the behaviors, tendencies, maybe even wounds that this person will be reflecting back to you are ones that you maybe have not yet addressed in yourself. Maybe you have not become aware of, or you have become aware of it, but you haven't yet accepted. You haven't yet, I heard the word assimilated them. And so being with this person, working with this person, it will be like working with yourself, getting to know yourself, and addressing those things that you have been avoiding in yourself. It would be like a bit of an awakening or a wake-up call. And this whole mirroring could be what would add to the intensity of this connection or relationship, because after you spend time with this person, you might find yourself introspecting. You might find yourself needing some time to just maybe cool off, or just integrate everything that you have learned, or just take some time to better understand whatever is coming up for you, because I feel like things might start coming up to the surface for you when interacting, when connecting with this person, when working with them. But I see there being a lot of revelations as well, a lot of aha moments, and you gaining better clarity of yourself as you get to know this person more and more. And maybe that's the whole intense aspect of this, is that you're getting to know another, like truly getting to know them, because I feel like with this person, there's no, like, as you interact more and more with them, there's going to be less barriers between you both, because it's like you can't hide your true selves when you are with each other. And so the intense aspect could be that you're getting to know a whole person, while at the same time getting to know and understand aspects of yourself. There could be a lot that, especially with Cancer here, that you will end up feeling, experiencing via this connection or working with this person, right? So with this pot calling the kettle black, you're simply being let known to not be quick to jump to conclusions when it comes to this person, or make assumptions, or like point fingers, but maybe take a moment to introspect if whatever you feel the need to call out on this person is something that maybe you do as well, right? Or something that maybe you're figuring out yourself. Yeah, because I see something about not projecting, but rather understanding. Coming from a place of understanding, coming from a place of empathy and compassion. Yeah, and actually, I keep talking about this being with a specific person, and I feel that to be the case for a lot of you, but this could also be a more general energy in which maybe during this Taurus season in this month of May, there will be a lot of mirroring happening just in general with the people who you are interacting with on your day-to-day, the people who you are crossing paths with. There could be a lot of things that you will note in others that later you will find, oh, you also do, or that you also possess, that you also have. And these could be things that you will deem to be good qualities, good traits, or some that you might find a bit annoying, right? It will vary. Yes, but again, with the Devil card, which makes me think of like deep bonds, intense bonds, connections, this could also be a heads up for you that very soon you will, if not during this time, in the near future, you will be coming into contact or coming into alignment with your either with your mirror match, with someone who is very similar to you. Could be a soulmate for those of you who believe in soulmates. Again, soulmates can be platonic. They don't necessarily have to be romantic. Or with a counterpart. Or with your peanut butter to your jelly, or your jelly to your peanut butter. But okay, let's go with what I was doing. Now I want to pull out a card to find out what is something that you can look forward to this period. The number 33 could be of significance. It's a master number, by the way. Okay, so wow. So we have the Two of Cups and the Moon. Again, Two of Cups indicating relationships. The Moon makes me think of spirituality, intuition. It also makes me think of mysticism, the psyche, dreams, illusions, as well as the subconscious mind and hidden things. Also looking at the Moon card, it's making me think of manifestation. Yeah, so as mentioned, if you have been manifesting a connection, if you have been manifesting a life mate, your person, you are manifesting them. They are coming into the picture. They are coming into your life very soon. Could be during Taurus season, could be during the month of May, but I feel like this is more so speaking of in the near future. Not necessarily during this time. Maybe, as mentioned before, during Cancer season. The Moon is associated with the zodiac sign Pisces, but I often associate it with Cancer, the zodiac sign Cancer as well. Yeah, so you guys are manifesting a friend, someone who you can, I heard battle it out with, as in enter into a battle of the wits with, someone who you can like speak to about the things that you know, about the things that you're passionate about. If you are an academic, or if you are very knowledgeable about a specific topic or subject that a lot of people are not very knowledgeable about or don't know much of, or it's very difficult for you to come across people who can hold a conversation with you about this specific topic or subject, it seems like you are manifesting, or you are attracting someone who you can have like these conversations with, who you can talk about this subject or topic with, someone who can meet you at where you at maybe your intellectual level, or your level of knowledge, or level of interest or passion. Yeah, so that's why I mentioned friendship, because I feel like a lot of you are coming into union with a friend, with a buddy, but you know, this buddy can stay platonic, or for a lot of you, this buddy could end up turning into a romantic interest, a romantic partner. But again, it will depend. But the Two of Cups also just makes me think of relationships in general. And you know, with the Moon, it's sort of as if for some of you, you feel like, or it has felt like your partner, your person, has been hidden from you. Like they've been nowhere in sight. And you here wondering, like, do they exist? Are they out there? Do they know who I am? Do they know that I exist? Am I going to be forever alone? And lo and behold, behind the Moon is this connection, this relationship. Like this person is out there. This connection, your connection with your person is already in existence. It exists. And it's going to happen, or it's going to manifest in the tangible very, very soon. And so during this period, there could be a lot of daydreaming. You may be actually dreaming of this person, or, you know, this could be a case where you might not see them in your dream, but you might feel their energy. Like they might show up differently in your dreams every time their energy comes through, but you will recognize it as them, as being that person that keeps popping up in your dreams. But you can't yet put a face to them, or you don't know exactly who they are, or if you've seen them, etc. Because I do get this feeling of mystery with the Moon card. So for a lot of you, who resonate with this being like a future connection, I feel like this is someone that you haven't met, or maybe you have. Oh, this is quite interesting. Maybe you have met them, but you just don't know that it's them yet, right? Maybe you have seen them, maybe you have encountered them, maybe you are already connecting with them, but you don't know that it's them yet. Like your soul might know, your subconscious might know even, but your awareness, human you, might not know that it's them yet. So to you, it's still a mystery. To you, you might still be wondering, where are they? Who are they? But soon it will be revealed to you who they are, or you will know, like, ah, it's them. It will make sense. It will click, is what I heard. Yeah, and for others of you, this could just be a situation where if you have been wanting someone to connect with, like someone who can understand you, someone who you can connect with on a deeper level, you soon will be meeting someone who you can connect with in this way. Yeah, so if you're wondering, am I the odd fish out? Is that the expression? Is there no one else like me? The answer to your question is yes, there is other people who are like you and who are very similar to you and who you will resonate with and they will resonate with you. For those of you who are currently in a relationship, I feel like you are during this period also building a deeper emotional bond with your significant other or with your partner or with your friend. I see your relationship or your connection deepening. There could even be some kind of psychic connection that is developing between you and this person who you are developing this emotional bond with, or you have developed this emotional bond with. You might be having some kind of like telepathic experience during this time, some kind of psychic experience, right? Where maybe you share a dream. They dream of you and you dream of them on the same night, and it's on the next day you share your dreams and you find out that it's the same dream. You had the same dream. So you met each other in the dream space, or you astral travel together, something like that. Or you give an answer to a question that they only thought of, and it's like, whoa, how did you know I was thinking that? Or how did you know I was asking you that in my mind? That kind of thing. Yeah, I'm seeing like a psychic connection, also psychic awareness. You might, for those of you who have been in a relationship with someone, or you have been getting to know another, during this period you might find yourself very attuned to this person's energy. You might pick up on their feelings, on their emotions, or you might pick up on when their mood has shifted or changed. You might be very sensitive to this person's energy or moods. Yeah, some of you might be discovering or just coming to the conclusion, just kind of, there's this feeling of accepting that you do have this psychic connection to another, that you still have this emotional, maybe attachment or emotional connection to another, right? Because you still feel them, you still feel their energy. Yeah, but Two of Cups, the moon also makes me think of creative collaboration. So as mentioned before, some of you may be collaborating with another, and this could be like a creative collaboration. And because we have the moon here, which can indicate hidden things, and then we have the sun as your overarching energy, I am also seeing you getting positive exposure through the help of another. So someone of great influence, someone who maybe is very popular, well known, or well established in their respective field, will be giving you positive exposure through maybe giving you a shout out or working with you or recommending you to others. Maybe people who are also very influential, or people who can and will end up offering you amazing opportunities, the kind of opportunities or offers that you need or have been looking for to gain some kind of momentum or level up. And if you perceive yourself as being someone of great influence, someone who has a good standing in maybe a community or in a field of work, field of study, then it is you who will end up helping another with getting positive exposure or gaining or getting some kind of recognition. Yeah. The moon and the sun in your spread makes me think of you know, someone coming out of the shadows, someone coming into the light. Yeah, I see in a partnership someone being, like, I feel like both people might be very creative, but I feel like one might be more creative, more daydreamy, more Piscean-like than the other. The other might be more practical, more logical, like resourceful than the Piscean, dreamy, imaginative one. Right? Although both of them might be very creative, one might be more practical than the other, and a little bit more realistic than the other. Or it might switch. Like sometimes one might be like very practical and realistic and level-headed, and the other one might just be like more daydreamy or more of the visionary, let's say. And then it might switch. Yes, very interesting. The Two of Cups is also making me think of sharing. So as mentioned before, you could be sharing expenses with another. If it's right now, it's unclear like who's paying for what, or something about a financial matter is not yet clear. I feel like it's going to become clear. It's going to get settled during this period. Also, if you are wanting to know like where you stand with someone, like where you are with this person, where your relationship is headed, how someone feels about you, what their intentions towards you are, that's going to be made clear, I think, at some point during this period. The reason why I say I think it's because I feel like this might be something that is revealed to you over time. So there could be some clarity of that. How could I explain this? So it could be a situation where you and another are starting to slowly open up to each other during this period. And so you're confessing more things to each other. And so because of that, things are becoming more clear. But still, there's a lot of questions, maybe by the end of May, that have not yet been answered. But they soon will be, because you're opening up to each other more and more. So there could be some clarity gained about a relationship, a connection, a partnership during this time, as well as about a future partnership, because I see you gaining insight about a future connection for those of you who were resonating with the whole future connection messages. Because I did mention that the moon is associated with the psyche, with the subconscious. Something to look forward to during this time is you learning more about yourself, maybe learning more about your subconscious programmings via your relationships, right? Via what stands out to you in like a partner or those who you are in a relationship with. You're healing via your relationships through connecting with others. You may also be reprogramming your subconscious. Yeah, and the moon also makes me think of the mother. So you might be discovering some mother wounds during this time, or healing mother wounds as well. I'm also seeing something about possibly reparenting yourself or healing parental wounds. Maybe some generational trauma, generational wounds. Because again, the fourth house has to do with family. But now I'm just going to pull out an extra oracle card to get any last messages, advice, and or guidance. Ooh, I just thought that possibly some of you are releasing like notions, ideas about how relationships should be through you interacting with like new people who are teaching you different ways of connecting with others, of being in a relationship. Because what I'm seeing is some of you could have had these like ideas of like what a relationship should be like based on what you saw in your family, like based on your like maybe your parents' relationship with each other. And this time you're realizing that whatever your parents experience in the relationship with each other, it's not universal, right? It's not something that every relationship goes through, or it's not a universal representation of what marriage is like, for example. But there's this sense of healing, like we're healing maybe trauma, or you're addressing certain fears around maybe partnership, relationships, long-term partnerships, or even marriage, commitment, or like vulnerability, being vulnerable with another, opening up to another, or even dependency. It's learning the difference between codependency versus security, perhaps. But your cards are create space with Pisces material, and the key phrase, a house without walls, and the message, when the walls start to close in, you need to find wide open spaces to solve the boundaries. It may be that you need more space in your calendar or the freedom to let yourself wander. Yeah, so some of you may be needing to clear up your calendar. As mentioned, you don't need to do more. Maybe what you need right now is a little bit of rest, especially if you can give yourself time or create space, time for rest. And yeah, that was the message at the beginning, like creating space, making space. Is you are being suggested to create space for you, for your basic needs, for your necessities, for relaxing, for going with the flow, etc. Or just creating more space in your agenda and your schedule. Or that's what you will be doing during this time. We also have evolution with Virgo and wisdom, and the message, a seed pod catches the wind. A seed pod uses the wind to travel further afield and increase its chances of finding fertile ground. That's exactly what I was imagining here, like fertile ground in the resourcefulness card, based on the illustration. And we also have, continuing with the message, we have evolution can be practical. Minor changes can add up. What small useful habits can you put in place? Yeah, I feel like your minor changes have been adding up. You have been making little changes here and there. Some things you have stuck with, some things you just maybe did for a short period of time, but whatever you have done, it's adding up. Right? It's making a difference. It has made a difference. And soon you will see the kind of positive difference that it has been making in your life, maybe behind the scenes currently, but soon it will be playing a significant role in your life, or creating a significant positive impact in your life. But right now, if you feel like there's anything small that you can change to reduce the stress, to help you out, to make you feel a little bit more comfortable, more safe in your day-to-day, then you're being invited and you're being encouraged to do so. Right? It's not about taking big leaps, but it's about making little changes here and there whenever you can, because remember, those changes do add up. Yeah, this also makes me think of saving. If you're saving money, if you are, budgeting, it seems like that's also making a positive difference in terms of like your finances. Yeah, and I kept talking about seeds. And this message of a seed pod uses the wind to travel further afield. It also makes me think of like the future, what is coming in the future, and of expansion, like something is expanding. Maybe you were aiming somewhere, but it seems like the universe has bigger plans for you, because it seems like you're going to aim higher than what you were aiming for. Like there's something beautiful awaiting you, and you are experiencing evolution. You as a person, in your relationships, possibly even, I heard in your lifestyle, in your home, as well as in like your finances, your career. And a house without walls, again, makes me think of vulnerability, opening up to another. You are meeting someone who is tearing your walls down, but like in a good way. But let's see, the zodiac signs, Cancer, Pisces. I did mention Pisces with the moon. Virgo, Capricorn could be of significance. We have 3 3s in your spread, by the way, 333, which seems like a very spiritual, divine number, at least for this reading and this reading. So the number 3 could be of significance. You might be seeing a lot of repeated 3s. That could be a sign of like I heard in my mind, a divine union, or a union, or maybe open, honest communication, or truths coming through, truths being exposed, being revealed, like revelations. Also could be a sign of divine intervention. Divine retribution is what I heard as well. The number 2, we have 2 2s. The word 2 showed up twice in your spread as well. So the word 2 could be of significance, 22 or repeated 2s. And oh my god, we have 2 major arcanas. And then we also have consecutive numbers in your spread, 2, 3, and 4. Whenever I see consecutive numbers in a spread, it makes me think of forward movement, of progress. So you are making progress, or things are progressing. It might not seem like it sometimes on the surface, but progress is being made. Maybe at a more gradual pace, but it is being made. Yeah, and just one more thing, like I mentioned before, a lot of you who are in a partnership, who are in a relationship, romantic relationship especially, this is a time in which you are going to be thinking a lot about your future with this person. You might be making future plans with your partner, or just you on your own will be finding yourself thinking a lot about what your future will look like with this individual, and gaining a lot of clarity through these ponderings or wanderings. Okay, but these are all the messages coming through for you guys. If you want, you can pause the video and just take a moment to look at the images, at the numbers, see if there's anything that stands out to you in the illustrations. But yeah, we have reached the end of your reading. Thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoyed this reading, if it helped, then please leave a like or a comment. If you're new to this channel and you wish to stick around for more readings with me, Kim, then please do subscribe. I do offer personal readings if you are interested. All the info to that is in my website, and the link to my website can be found in the description box down below. To all of you who took the time to watch the ads or just let them play in the background, thank you so much for that, since that is the simplest way to support me and to support this growing channel. So if you did, I truly do appreciate it. And before I sign off, I want to give a thanks to my spirit team and your spirit guides for assisting me with delivering these messages to you. Thank you so very much, and I'm wishing you and your loved ones a wonderful Taurus season and month of May. And until the next moment, bye bye.